This is a production of SDPB.
Touchdown! This is for a state championship. Oh, drive kick, and it's good!
There's going to be some highlights coming off of this.
The short-range jumper.
Edging out in lane 4, the top seed.
This South Dakota High School State Championship event is conducted under the direction of the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Watertown and the Civic Arena, our home for the next 3 days as we present the Class A Girls Basketball Tournament here on SDPB. Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. Great to have you here. Nate, there's so many storylines coming into this state tournament concerning Class A. We got a strong field and some outstanding individual performers.
Yeah, we are going to be treated to 3 days here of some high-level basketball, Steve. Some of what the state has, their best players led by Ashlyn Copel from Wagner, who's going on to Nebraska. Ashlyn Carlo Blunt from Mock-Pialuda, a couple that we're going to see here this morning. So buckle up, Steve. It's going to be a good day's action.
I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of fast-paced basketball, a lot of full-court press and transition over the next 3 days because so many of the teams here, that's the way they play. But can that win a state championship for an individual team? We shall find out here. Let's take a look at our schedule as we have it here. Day 1, quarterfinals. We open up with Hamlin against Lakota Tech, 1 seed versus 8 seed. And then we'll follow that up with Sioux Valley taking on Lennox. Lennox here for the first time since 2012. Well, actually, they qualified in 2020. Couldn't play that year because of the pandemic. This is our evening schedule, which will start at 5 Central. Mock-Pialuda, unbeaten on the year, taking on West Central. And then Ashlyn Copel, Wagner taking on the defending champions, the Chargers of Sioux Falls Christian. That will be the finale tonight. Some great individual players. We'll talk about them throughout the afternoon and evening. Here's how the bracket's set up. Whoever wins between Hamlin and Lakota Tech gets the winner of Sioux Valley and Lennox. Tomorrow night in the semifinals, same thing with the bottom bracket. Whoever wins between Mock-Pialuda and West Central gets the winner of Wagner and Sioux Falls Christian. Our first matchup of the day features the Hamlin Chargers and the Tatanka of Lakota Tech, a new school. This is their 3rd state tournament appearance. The school just starting up a few years ago. Laura Big Crow is their head coach. Of course, a Spirit of Sioux winner and an all-stater in her own right. And what she has done in getting this program off the ground into 3 state tournaments in this short period of time, Nate, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, really impressive, and we'll talk about it more throughout the broadcast, but 3 sets of sisters on this team, led by the Shangrews, the Robinsons. They have some high-level young players that are exciting to watch, and they get up and down the floor at an incredible pace.
Yeah, you take a look at their march through the regions in the SODAC 16. They beat Little Moon and Winter in Region 7A and then had a tough matchup and beat Rapid City Christian 72-59 in the SODAC 16 matchup. And this is a young team, only 2 seniors on the entire roster. One of them starts in Addison Goings. Then you have Amelia Shangrew, who's an 8th grader. But she scores a ton of points. The Robinson sisters, Kate and Lizzie. And then you have Isabella Shangrew at that small guard shooting forward. She is a sophomore. There is a lot of youth on this team. This Lakota Tech team scores 68 points per game, shooting 40% from the floor, 56% from the free throw line. They are 19-4 coming into the tournament. Let's quickly meet Hamlin. The Chargers are led by Tim Koisty. They average 57.5 points per game. Their starting lineup, Addison Neuendorf. She's heading off to Northern State to play basketball. Sarita Stevenson, Paxton Neuendorf, Izzy Stephenson, Adeline Jensen, the starters for that team as they are the top seed coming into this tournament. 21-1 is their record, and they give up 35.5 points per game. They shoot 42% from the floor. We're about ready for the starting lineups. Let's turn it over to Ryan Neal. He is our public address announcer for this tournament.
Good morning. The South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, Dakota Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard, welcome you to this opening session of the State Girls High School Basketball Tournament. This tournament is being conducted under the guidance and regulation of the South Dakota High School Activities Association for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the success of these programs. We hope you will enjoy the games and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please stand as we honor America? We are proud to present Tayton Killsmalls from Lakota Tech High School. He will sing the Lakota Flag Song, which is a musical composition dedicated to honoring the American flag. Following the completion of the Lakota Flag Song, please remain standing for the national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by Milbank High School under the direction of Susan Carrolls. We would remind all in attendance that the proper respect is to face the flag, remove your hat or cap, and stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty military not in uniform may also salute the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lakota Flag Song, followed by the national anthem. And now, let's meet the cheerleaders for both teams, starting with Lakota Tech, Tatanka. Jordan, left hand. Kaylin, left hand. Richard, Little Bear. Abriana Palmer. Adriana, Slow Bear. And Drew, Slow Bear. Cheer coach is Canyon Musso Bigay and Genevieve Sandoval. And now the cheerleaders for the Hamlin Chargers. Adriana Cabrera Rodriguez. Evelyn Gustafson. Laura Larson. Amelia Lobin. And Danica Perez. Cheer coach Cindy Oz and Janice McDonald. And now we'll meet the starting lineups in alternating fashion. At one guard for the Lakota Tech, 5'5" and an 8th grader, number 2, Amelia Shangru. At a guard for Hamlin, 5'6" and a senior, number 3, Eddie Newender. At guard for the Lakota Tech, 5'7" and a senior, number 11, Addison Goings. At forward for Hamlin, 5'8" and a senior, number 5, Zarita Stevenson. At forward for Lakota Tech, 5'8" and a junior, number 12, Kay Robinson. For Hamlin at guard, 5'5" and a freshman, number 10, Paxton Newendorf. At forward for Lakota Tech, 5'9" and a sophomore, number 13, Lizzie Robinson. At forward for Hamlin, 5'8" and a junior, number 12, Izzy Stephenson. For Lakota Tech at forward, 5'7" and a sophomore, number 33, Isabel Shangru. And at forward for Hamlin, 6 foot and a sophomore, number 32, Addie Jensen. Assistant coaches for Lakota Tech, Corey Shangru. Assistant coaches for Hamlin, Jamie Newendorf, Ellie Stevenson, and Riley Seeds. Head coach for the Tatanka in her 15th season, Laura Big Crew. And head coach of the Chargers in his 17th season, Mr. Tim Coisty. Your officials for today's contest, as assigned by the South Dakota High School Activities Association, Pete Intringer, Summer Lutterman, and Jordan Bass.
All right, the pregame ceremonies are done, and we are ready to get this state tournament underway. Hamlin in the white uniforms, the red for Lakota Tech. These teams have not met this season.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting contrast of styles here a little bit, Steve. Lakota Tech really high-powered offensively, scoring. Hamlin only averages 57 points a game, but they're really, really stingy defensively, and here we are.
And it is going to be Hamlin with Addison Newendorf controlling the tip. Lakota Tech goes man-to-man. Still swinging around the perimeter to Stevenson. Inside, Jensen spins with the left hand, no good. Here comes Lakota Tech on the move quickly. Expect that all day. They will press the issue. And that's Lizzie Robinson cross court to Amelia Shangru. Again, there's 3 sets of sisters for Lakota Tech. On the perimeter there is Goings. And here's Amelia Shangru, no good on the three, and Jensen boxes out. Important for Hamlin not to give Lakota Tech second and third opportunities.
Yeah, and Shangru there, the younger one, 3-level scorer, leads them in scoring. Really dynamic here as Hamlin works.
That's Addison Neuendorf, misses on the three. She is a 35% shooter from the arc. Here's a three underway. It's short, no good, and the rebound to Neuendorf. Neuendorf is that field general out there for Hamlin.
She is the engine that makes him go, and you can see them trying to establish Adeline Jensen there. They come on the double.
And we're going to have a foul, first of the game, as Jensen was double teamed near the free throw line. Foul on the Tatanka, and that is going to be on Isabella Shangru.
And Jensen's one for Hamlin, averages almost a double-double, right at 10 points, 8 rebounds. And you can see their thought process of trying to go inside to her early and often.
But here's a three underway. It's short of the mark by Stephenson, who's a 37% shooter from beyond the arc. No score yet. And here's a shot up, and it is an air ball, and it will go to Hamlin.
You're seeing early on here, state tournament, new facility, got some jitters going on. Both teams are not shy from shooting it from three, clearly, but they're struggling finding the mark right now.
Yeah, this facility has been revamped since the last time I was here, which was 3 years ago when Hamlin won the title. Here's a steal by Amelia Shangru on the run, slapped away, and a foul. And Addison Neuendorf can't believe it.
And you see there from Amelia Shangru, she is just a flat basketball player, only an 8th grader. We talked about it, 21 points a game, almost 5 assists, almost 4 rebounds, plays well beyond her years.
And from the free throw line, 59% on the air. She'll get 2 opportunities here. And that's our first point of the game, goes to the team in red.
And Coach Coisty there, as Addison Neuendorf was trying to make that hustle play. First foul for her early on in the game. She is not a player that you can have in foul trouble. She's got to be smart, and they got to keep her out of that as much as possible.
2-0, Lakota Tech on top. And Hamlin really doesn't go too deep on their bench. Their starters will play the majority of the minutes. Neuendorf looking to drive, gets bottled up, has to kick it outside. Paxton Neuendorf, her sister. Here's Addison Neuendorf. That's short on the three. Long rebound will trickle out of bounds.
You can see there Lakota Tech just collapsed. They got Addison Neuendorf going downhill off that ball screen, and they're going to be keyed on her here all afternoon.
Hamlin, they only have 2 seniors on their roster as well. Both teams very young.
Can see both Neuendorf sisters, Paxton Neuendorf on Amelia, and then Addie on Lizzie Robinson on the other side, as
that was
Goings
yeah,
little off the mark.
Still 2-0, and here's a tip ball at half court, but Addison Neuendorf tracks it down. Shot clock does reset. Here's a drive along the baseline. Oh, Jensen underneath. Nice play, and she'll score.
That was a nice find there by Sarita Stephenson, and a good circle up on that baseline drive.
Amelia Shangru, Hamlin, they're going man-to-man defense. Down into the post. Robinson, long through her legs, and saved by Hamlin. They'll pass it up ahead. Oh, double team over there. Almost a steal. Neuendorf lost it, got it back. Drives, bumped, and will have a foul. And that foul will be on Lakota Tech. 4:52 left, first quarter. We're tied up at 2 between Hamlin and Lakota Tech. Timeout on the court. We'll be back in a moment right here on SDPB 3.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Get a look, I believe that's the Hamlin cheering section here on opening day, Class A girls basketball tournament in Watertown at the Civic Arena. Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. The team's off to a cold start, combined 1 of 11 from the floor, Nate.
Yeah, in a quick 0 of 7 from 3, but you're seeing the pace. Both teams aren't afraid to get up and down, but as I mentioned at the onset, you know, Hamlin just has a tendency in the half court, only giving up 35 points a game, whereas Lakota Tech on the other side coming in, giving up 49 points a game.
Neuendorf, a 90% free throw shooter on the season. What a career she has had. That pass is going to be too tall for number 13, Lizzie Robinson. Goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to run a little sideline free throw break right there and had multiple people trying to advance it up quick. Just lost it out of bounds.
Hamlin will be the more deliberate team, and there is going to be a steal by Lizzie Robinson. A 3, good.
And you see how quickly they can turn defense to offense. Came out of that media break in a little 1-2-2, extended out into this half-court zone.
Neuendorf, the fake, lost the handle, but Jensen is there to pick it up. She has nothing going, and there's an outside, a three-point shot, no good by Paxton Neuendorf. Tatanka with the rebound. Lizzie Robinson up court, hands off. Amelia Shangru fires the 3, no. Rebound, Lakota Tech. That's Goings, and we're going to have a foul on Hamlin.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent wall up there from Adeline Jensen. I think they had her just breaking that lane of verticality a little bit with the hands down as Going makes her way to the foul line.
On the year, just 46%. That foul, by the way, was on Jensen, as the free throw is no good. Addison Goings, one of the 2 seniors in the lineup for Lakota Tech. She averages 5 points per game. That one spins around a few times and falls. And it's 6-4, Tatanka on top. There's a steal. Oh, what a read there on that pass. And that's Isabella Shangru, misses it, and the rebound comes down to Stevenson. Missed opportunity there for Lakota Tech.
And you see how well the Tatanka anticipate passes. As I mentioned, they were in this half court, that point.
That's 3-pointer, no good. Here's the outlet. That's Shangru ahead of everybody, and she'll save it in play, but Hamlin picks it up.
Lizzie Robinson looked like Josh Allen right there, throwing the full court pass, just a little out in front of Amelia Shangru. Yeah, when they're attacking this zone, they want to try to find middle and short corner. That top of the 1-2-2 really extends up on that floor. They almost funnel that basketball into the gaps that they want it to go to.
6-4 our score. Lakota Tech on top here, first quarter. There's Paxton Neuendorf over to Stevenson. And here's Addison Neuendorf, misses another 3. And there's another outlet. Shangru ahead of everybody. And no, shot, block, Jensen. Here come the Chargers the other way. Oh, big collision. And that's going to be Kate Robinson, or check that, Lizzie Robinson picking up the foul.
And you can see Shangru Amelia has got a good feel. She plays on that top of that zone, but she's almost contesting and getting those runouts. Whereas, you know, 10 years ago, every coach would have probably frowned on that stuff, and now people intentionally do it.
Another steal. This time it is Lizzie Robinson, and she will miss the layup, but she's fouled, and that's Addison Neuendorf, and that is her second. That could be critical.
In both of her fouls have came on situations off live ball, catastrophic turnovers where she's just trying to sprint down and save the play. And as you mentioned, Steve,
yeah, and generally Addison Neuendorf doesn't get into foul trouble by and large. That free throw bounces away, no good. On the year, Lizzie Robinson 64%. Paxton Neuendorf's going to get a break. Checking in, number 1, Ava Tashner. She is a sophomore, averages 2.5 points a game for Hamlin.
And you mentioned it. They like to ride their starters a lot of minutes. They don't go real deep. Coach Koiste's talking to Addison over there, making sure that she's locked in, not picking up her third foul.
Free throw good by Lizzie Robinson. She has 4 points. Top scorer in the game. 7 for Lakota Tech. The score is low. You figure that would favor Hamlin, but it's Lakota Tech's defense that's the difference, and they get another steal. Shangru ahead to Isabella. Shot no good. Might have been partially blocked, and we've got a whistle along the baseline, a jump ball. Possession arrow, Lakota Tech with 2:17 left.
Yeah, and Hamlin right now really struggling to operate offensively against their zone. Up to 5 turnovers right now, all of them coming here in the last few minutes ever since Lakota Tech switched to that 1-2-2.
And we have a timeout called by Hamlin with 2:17 left. This is a quick 30-second timeout as Tim Koiste wants to talk things over. Hamlin, they were 3rd place last year in 2023 on this very floor. They won the championship, beating Wagner in a thrilling game. That was 3 years ago, and since then they have redone this arena, new seats, new sound system and lights and stuff in here. So this, if you've been to Watertown, you haven't been here in the last year or two, this is a completely different arena.
Yeah, and a nice environment here for our first game in the State A's. In my first time being in this place, Steve, but I tell you what, looking around, got the chair backs up top, close to the court, not a bad seat in the house.
This venue has hosted a lot of state tournaments over the year, and the people in Watertown do a fine job as they host. They've hosted wrestling in the past, girls and boys basketball. Volleyball as well has been held here. As we get back to action, Lakota Tech plays it in from the baseline. They'll swing it around. Here's Robinson, an air ball, and Jensen, stepped on the line as she tried to collect the rebound. The miss there by Lizzie Robinson.
It's pretty good execution there from the Tatanka coming out. Tried to run Lizzie Robinson right through that wing elevator screen, just a little shy on the 3.
Throw it into the paint, quick pass outside. Goings can't make anything happen there. Handoff. Lizzie Robinson lost it out of bounds, but off the foot of a Hamlin player. Lizzie averages 19.5 points per game, 21 for Amelia Shangru. Goings wide open, misses the 3. But there's Shangru, that's Amelia with the rebound and the putback.
We talked about her ability just always around the basketball, whether it's defensively, whether it's offensively.
9-4. And here's Neuendorf bumped along the baseline. And that's going to be a foul. I believe that's on number 12, Kate Robinson. If so, that's her second. And it is. Here comes Paxton Neuendorf into the game. Tashner gets a break. Minute 41 left. That's the 4th team foul on Lakota Tech.
Yeah, and both teams still trying to settle in offensively. Hamlin only 1 of 9 with the 6 turnovers. Lakota Tech 2 of 14. They've gotten to the foul line a few times.
Missed shot there by Hamlin, and here's Robinson. Yes, on the 3. That's Lizzie Robinson. She's got 7. 12-4. Lakota Tech. Jensen in the paint, spins away from a double team and scores.
And that's where the basketball needs to find that middle of the zone, that low post, and nice little drop step finish there from Adeline Jensen.
Robinson lost the ball and got it back, and I think we're going to have a jump ball, or are we going to have a foul? No, it's going to be jump ball. Possession arrow favors Hamlin with 1:09 left. Quarter number 1. And we're going to have a substitution for Lakota Tech. Kate Robinson's going to check out. And checking in, number 25, that's Lydia Hermany-Horses, a 5'6" sophomore. Man-to-man for Lakota Tech. Check that, they're staying with that 1-2-2. Here's the high pass in. Neuendorf, she was fouled. Look out. Players hitting down. Good sportsmanship there. As Neuendorf helps up number 11, Goings.
Yeah, and they just ran Neuendorf. Good execution. They ran her off that diagonal screen right on that free throw line, and she does a good job, makes her way to the foul line. You mentioned 90% there, and she gets there a lot just with her ability to attack the rim, both off the drive and off the cut. As I put the announcer jinx on her there, Steve.
Yeah, I know. And the second one is good. She's still 3 of 4 from the line, is Addison Neuendorf. She has yet to score from the field. And here's Goings, wide open, thought about the 3. Hands off, Amelia Shangru, no on the 3. Long rebound, Stevenson, but I think she took a step, and that's because of Shangru. No, they're gonna get a foul.
And you can see the willingness there from Lakota Tech, and they're gonna be in the bonus, so we're gonna head down to the other end, but there is no hesitation with any of the Lakota Tech players when they got to look from 3, only 2 of 10 right now, and they'll shoot some quick early ones.
But if you're Lakota Tech, you know they're going to fall eventually, as that is a miss on the free throw by Stevenson. That foul, by the way, Amelia Shangru, her first. 5'5", 8th grader, averaging 21 points per game.
And I mentioned it. She is just a baller, a hooper, whatever word you want to use to characterize her, but she knows how to play the game.
And she's playing the point guard position. Looks for a screen, doesn't have it. Tries to get away from Paxton Neuendorf. Goings, a 3, no, just off the mark. But the rebound to Lakota Tech. Here's a 3, no. From the top of the key by Lizzie Robinson. Ball out of bounds to Hamlin in the corner with 20 seconds to go.
And that was a great hustle play there from Lydia, her mini horses, getting that pass out, Robinson, and then that's a look that she's not going to miss too many times.
Hamlin in no hurry. They're going to play for the final opportunity here. See what they can come up with. Neuendorf has it wide open. That's Stephenson, a 3, and her first points of the game. Let's see what Lakota Tech can do from half court. Oh, just off the rim, no good. It's a good one, folks. Quarter number 1 is done. Lakota Tech 12, Hamlin 11. Back in 1 minute right here on SDPB.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Ready for the second quarter of action here. Our first game of the day from Watertown, Class A girls basketball. I'm Steve Toom, he's Nate Kading. Lakota Tech with the ball, they're up by 1, and a 3 on the way is short, and the rebound to Jensen.
It's nice pick and pop action there as Hamlin races it back up the court.
Jensen in the lane, spins with the left hand, scores. She's got 6.
You can see her footwork coming back to that strong hand. She's a lefty, loves to get back to that right shoulder, left hand.
Shangru in the paint, throws it outside to Goings. Shot is good, that's a 2. Goings, the senior. It's her first bucket of the day. They try to go to Jensen along the baseline, and that's tapped out of bounds by Lizzie Robinson.
Yeah, and after being in a little bit of a funk and being sped up, frankly, against this 1-2-2 zone, Hamlin settled themselves back in here at the end of the first and so far here at the start of the second.
Lakota Tech has taken 21 shots. 14 of them have been three-pointers. That was nearly stolen, and Neuendorf's going to get fouled near half court, fighting through a double team. And that is going to be on Amelia Shangru, and that is her second.
Yeah, both of the lead guards right now. We talked about Addison Neuendorf having 2, that Shangru's second. Both coaches putting a lot of trust in there. Oh, nice find.
Oh, but too strong off the window was Stephenson. And Goings wide open, a 3. No, just crawls off the rim, and we're going to have a foul on Hermany Horses on the rebound. Fouls starting to rack up here on Lakota Tech.
In Goings shoots it very aggressive. She was only 8 of 42 from 3, 19% coming in to today's action, but has already shot 4 threes. She did knock down the one mid-range.
Hamlin with the ball into the paint. They find Jensen, tries to put it up, has it blocked, and we're going to have a foul. Lakota Tech can't believe it.
On the front side, looked like a pretty good wall up, but they had that backside contact.
That's Isabella Shangru, her second foul. So we have 3 starters with 2 fouls each for Lakota Tech. That one no good by Adeline Jensen, a 58% free throw shooter on the season. She is a sophomore at 6 foot tall.
Yeah, and when you get to this point in the year and you see both coaches as had a lane violation there, I believe Lizzie Robinson stepped in a little early.
Yep.
But both Coach Big Crow and Coach Coisty, when you get to this point, you're gonna ride with your people. So you gotta work yourself through some foul trouble, and
that one is good. Give her 7 points here in the morning hours here in Watertown. Still not noon yet here on the east side of the state. As Goings fires a 3, and that one's good. She's got 6 points.
And right when I mentioned she only shot at 19% in all 4, knocks a big one down.
And it's a 3-point lead for Lakota Tech. They pop it outside, but over the head of Paxton Neuendorf, out of bounds to Lakota Tech.
Yeah, and the one thing about this Lakota Tech team in that zone, they don't really have a true post or a true 5 necessarily, but they have some good length on the wings. They got some good length in anticipation really across the board.
Down low, here is a reverse layup, good by Kate Robinson, her first points of the game. 5-point lead, Lakota Tech. And a near steal in the lane. If the ball's loose on the floor, we got a pile up, and I think we're going to have a jump ball. We will. Possession arrow, Hamlin. And you got to love the anticipation. Lakota Tech, they are just stepping into those passing lanes.
Yeah, and on the other side, Hamlin needs to do a little bit better job of using their pass fakes and their ball fakes and keeping their composure and slowing themselves down. There they did a little up screen and slip. Nice execution.
Adeline Jensen with 9 points. She has been the main weapon so far for Hamlin. Shangru guarded by Paxton Neuendorf, and oh, look out. And they're gonna say the ball goes to Hamlin, and she lost it out of bounds. Boy, there you have a freshman guarding an 8th grader, and Amelia Shangru looking back going, hey, I thought that went off a Hamlin player. But we play on.
Yeah, and you can't hide from the basketball in those situations. You got to shorten passes. You can just see the scrappiness of this Lakota Tech defense.
They hustle and they scramble and they force the issue. Does Lakota Tech on defense. Here's a wide open shooter from the corner. It's good. That's Paxton Neuendorf. Her first points of the game.
Great inside out look right there. Feet set, wide open 3.
Shangru straight away, 3 ball, yes! She has 7.
And with the answer and the step back off the bounce, Amelia Shangru.
Well, just like that, Addison Neuendorfer's first field goal, give her 5 points in the game. And now they go up and down the court. Robinson trying to work on Neuendorf, and Neuendorf gets the steal. She's on the move, player down. Here's an opportunity as Paxton Neuendorf is fouled, and we will have 2 free throws when we come back from this timeout. 4:24 left, second quarter. Lakota Tech up by 1 here on SDPB. This is Class A girls basketball.
Reading opens every door to learning, opportunity, and understanding. The South Dakota Department of Education is strengthening literacy outcomes for students across our state, helping educators connect classroom instruction to the science of how children learn to read and write. Through professional support and shared resources, schools are building strong foundation in literacy for every learner. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
You're committed to building relationships, to exceeding expectations, to serving your community. Your financial partner should share your vision and your values. For 130 years, we've stood by South Dakotans. We've been there, we'll be there. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West, member FDIC.
And welcome back to Watertown Class A girls basketball. State tournament here on SDPB 3. Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom, and that last foul on Lakota Tech went on Isabella Shangru, and that is her 3rd personal foul. And that is the 4th team foul, by the way, on Lakota Tech. Hamlin yet to commit a foul in this period. And that sends Paxton Neuendorf to the line for a pair of free throws. The freshman, 67% on the season. Got the first. She averages 4.5 points and nearly 3 rebounds per game.
Yeah, and both teams still trying to settle in a bit offensively. We've seen some back and forth action. Lakota Tech only shooting 28%, Hamlin 36%, both of them 7 and 6 turnovers.
Lakota Tech has Goings, giving it away to Lizzie Robinson.
You can see they get into a lot of this high on-ball weave action with their top 3 perimeter players.
Shangru cut off, double teamed, went through the hands of Kate Robinson, but picked up there by Goings.
We haven't had too many shot clock situations, but it's winding down right now.
Here's a shot up, and it's off the window and good. Lizzie Robinson with 9. Checking into the games, Taraya Money, number 15 for Lakota Tech, playing defense there on Addison Neuendorf. Pass to the corner. Nothing there for Stephenson. She's double teamed. I think she traveled. No, jump ball. But it will go to Lakota Tech.
Yeah, and when they get you in positions tucked on the corner or tucked on the sideline, they're going to be looking to come with that double team. And
here comes Robinson to Goings into the post now. That's Kate Robinson, tries a reverse layup again and scores.
That same exact move right there. Jensen's just satisfied playing behind and got into the baseline twice there. Kate Robinson with the reverse finishes.
That one goes out of bounds. Who's it going to? Lakota Tech. 3:04 left. Tatanka up by 3. And here comes Shangru. It's Amelia bringing it up court, the 8th grader. Passes it into the post. Robinson, nothing this time, backs it out, fires a 3. Good! Kate Robinson with 7 all in this quarter, and it's a 6-point lead for the number 8 seed. Stephenson drives, free throw line jumper by Stevenson is good, her first field goal of the game.
A much needed bucket there from Hamlin. Settle themselves down. Lakota Tech had a lot of momentum there, especially with Kate Robinson and her buckets.
Left-handed scoop, no good, and the foul on Paxton Neuendorf, her first. Team's first. But free throws coming up for Lakota Tech.
Yeah, that previous offensive possession from Lakota Tech, you don't oftentimes see a post entry dribble herself out to a three and knock it down, but Kate Robinson, and you mentioned it, Steve, up to 7 points on the game, 3 of 4, really making her impact felt. Coming into the game, she only averaged 6.8 points a game, so she's already exceeded her season average coming in, and there's some big ones here in this first half.
Shangru at the line for a pair of free throws. First is no good. Mentioned Kate Robinson. She is the student council vice president, the junior is.
Impressive.
Free throw on the way, good. She has 8 points. And it's a 5-point lead for Lakota Tech, 2:20 and counting. Got to be careful with those passes. Lakota Tech's so quick.
Yeah, and they just read eyes and anticipate. And
we're going to have a foul. That was a great entry pass, but another foul on Lakota Tech. Lori Bigcrow can't believe it. And I think that's Goings who gets the foul. It is her second. And that will send Stevenson to the line on the year, 66%. First one's no good.
Yeah, and that was a nice flash there in the middle of that zone. Sarita Stevenson, and this officiating crew been pretty consistent on any time you break that plane of verticality, as they should be. They're sending people to the foul line. Nice hustle play by Jensen and a little luck.
Ball loose on the floor. Who wants it? Hamlin. That's Addison Neuendorf. Bottled up. A three. Good! Here's Goings. In and out. Addison Neuendorf looking up court. Long pass. Jensen on the run. Layup blocked out of bounds.
Neither team wastes much time at all after securing rebounds.
That was a great pass and a great block. Hamlin plays it in from the baseline with Neuendorf.
Gonna try to screen in for Addison Neuendorf, and they got her.
Three is short of the mark, but it ends up in the hands of Stephenson. Spins, too strong. Rebound, Lakota Tech. They want to run, don't have the numbers. It's Lizzie Robinson on the move. Outside to sister Kate, a three. No, too strong. Push foul on the rebound.
Yeah, and they
gonna be on Hamlin.
I think they got Izzy Stephenson right there on the checkout. Just displace that defender face to face.
That is her first, team second. Lakota Tech plays it in quickly to the top of the key. Lizzie Robinson back. Here's Shangru. No on the three. A rebound fought for. We got a jump ball. Both referees saw it. Possession arrow Hamlin.
Seen Lakota Tech execute that underneath out of bounds one time previously for Lizzie Robinson. There it was defended pretty well. They forced Amelia Shangru to extend outside of her range. I shouldn't say outside of her range. I'm not sure there's such a thing, but a good contested look.
I think the half-court line, maybe you're talking
that's,
about.
That's about right, Steve.
Here's Addison Neuendorf. Stevenson into the paint. Stephenson back to Neuendorf. Can't make anything happen. Up top. Neuendorf gets the handoff. Free throw line. Jumper too strong, but she gets her own rebound. Three-pointer. Stephenson short. Rebound, Stevenson underneath, but it's intercepted by Goings. Out front, Kate Robinson stops. Had it slapped out of her hands. Foul.
That's going to be Addison Neuendorf's third foul, all coming in transition situations. And she was pretty disciplined, cutting her off and just slapped down, and pretty easy one for the officials.
Yeah, that is huge. The third foul on Addison Neuendorf. But here's the good news for Hamlin. There's only 30 seconds left. The shot clock will be off. But it all depends, too. Lakota Tech could get the ball back if they rebound a missed free throw or perhaps get a steal. Free throw on the way, no good by Kate Robinson, a 64% shooter on the season.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. If Hamlin can secure this basketball, only 30.6 left. Shot clock off. They can hold for one if they choose to.
And you got to figure they're going to, as Addison Neuendorf walks the ball up the court. She's in no hurry. Picked up there by Money. Tonka keeping up the pressure. They'll pass it and get it back. The sisters Neuendorf play catch. 9 seconds left. Paxton Neuendorf looking, passes to the corner. Here's Stephenson, short, rebound to Tonka. They'll heave it from full court, and that's short of the mark, but we've got a game, folks. Tatanka, 30, Chargers, 28 at the break. Stick around, the Hanson dance team, when we come back here at the Class A tournament. This is SDPB 3.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Bioethanol supplies more than just energy. It creates jobs in rural communities. It drives demand for local corn. It provides opportunities for family farms to thrive. To ensure agriculture plays a leading role in the efforts to decarbonize and transition energy, bioethanol remains at the forefront of a pursuit for a cleaner, brighter future for all Americans. Learn how at sdethanol.com.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
Class A tournament, 30-28, Lakota Tech on top. It's halftime. We've got entertainment for you. Let's turn it over to Ryan Neal, our public address announcer.
And now for your halftime entertainment, please welcome to the floor Hanson Cheer Team.
Please don't stop them, please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, just escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it. Like the way you do, just keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music.
And thank you to the Hanson dance team. We are at half here, our first game of the day. Lakota Tech on top of Hamlin, 30-28. Back with more after this timeout right here on SDPB.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Your Great Plains Case IH dealers know that hard work starts early, in the field and on the field or the court. Dedication, teamwork, pride, the values driving farmers also power South Dakota athletes. Growing crops or growing champions, it takes the same drive to succeed. Your local Great Plains Case IH dealers know the future is built by showing up day after day, ready to work, ready to win. Great Plains Case IH dealers, supporting schools, athletes, and the communities we grow.
For over 55 years, Muth Electric has been powering progress across the Midwest. Our team of professionals deliver electrical solutions with innovation and safety at the core. We work with purpose, knowing that each project contributes to something bigger. Muth Electric, a partner in building a brighter future since 1970.
Our Peterson Farm seed reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm seed reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
We've got a good one here at the break. Number 8 seed Lakota Tech on top of the top-seeded Chargers of Hamlin. 30-28, our first game of the day here on SDPB3, along with Nate Kading. I'm Steve Toom, and it's been an exciting game, Nate. The teams were very cold coming out of the gate shooting, but that was not due to lack of intensity.
Yeah, both teams, we talked about it, started off a little slow. You get that first game, state tournament jitters, but got themselves going a little bit as that first half wore on. And you're seeing some pretty balanced scoring, but the stars are also being stars. Addison Neuendorf with 8, Jensen with 9 on the other side of the court, Amelia Shangru with 8, Lizzie Robinson with 9, but they're also getting others to step up and make plays and provide some offensive punch as well, Steve.
There you see Goings with that mid-range jumper that she knocked down in the first half. And then Kate Robinson, a couple of nice old-school reverse layup moves along the baseline. And then a nice interior pass there. Adeline Jensen with 9 points. Top scorer for either squad. And there's the shot off the window. That was good. And watch this play. Step back. Going to pass it outside. Nope. 3-pointer for Addison Neuendorf, who has 8. But she also has 3 fouls in the first half, as does Isabella Shangru for Lakota Tech. As we look at the shooting stats here, 9 of 29 for Hamlin. That's good for 31%. 10 of 31 for Lakota Tech. That's good for 32%. From beyond the arc, 3 of 12 for Hamlin. 5 of 20 for Lakota Tech. So 2 out of every 3 shots for Lakota Tech is a tray.
They're going to be trying to get 50 attempts up, Steve. Yeah, they go in transition. You love the confidence that Coach Big Crow instills into her athletes, that if any one of them get a look out there, whether it's Amelia Shanger, Goings, Kate Robinson, Lizzie Robinson, they're all comfortable attacking and shooting open shots right there. And when you get to this point and you have the success that they've had, 19-4 coming in, you're going to need more than 1 or 2 players, and you're seeing it here this afternoon.
The rebounding stats are exactly the same. 21 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds for both teams. I don't know if I've ever seen that where the rebounds are exact even at a half for boys or girls basketball. And that's a benefit, I think, to Lakota Tech, as they're the shorter team on the floor.
Yeah, they certainly don't have a player like Adeline Jensen inside. They do have some decent size on the wings with Lizzie Robinson and the host of her teammates. But you mentioned it, pretty evened up on the glass, pretty, turnover battle a little bit. And you can see the slight differential, Lakota Tech hitting 5 threes, but also Hamlin has wound up to capitalize from the free throw line, 7 of 12, whereas Lakota Tech only 5 of 10. I think a big piece of this second half, Steve, is who can keep their main players on the court. Do we have foul trouble as we wind up going in, and how does Hamlin continue to handle this zone?
And it will be Lakota Tech, the team in red, starting the second half of the basketball. They're going to go inside right away to Kate Robinson, nearly lost the handle. And she's going to try that reverse layup again, but this time it's no good. But there's Shangru with the rebound, high off the window, no good. And Addison Neuendorf clears the rebound, lets the traffic pass her by, and now brings it up court.
Pretty fortunate there from the Chargers, as you don't want to give Shangru looks like that.
Travel, as that was Stevenson who shuffled her feet. Another turnover, an unforced error there for Hamlin.
How is Hamlin able to defend the three-point line, defend this weave, ball screen action out top, and can Hamlin take care of the basketball? Those are the things to look for here in this second.
They'll throw it inside to Robinson, and that shot's no good, and a foul. And a push foul, 2 free throws coming up for Lakota Tech. See who this foul is against for Hamlin, and it is going to be on Jensen, her second. And that sends Lizzie Robinson to the free throw line, 1 of 2 on the day.
And Addison Neuendorf, as much of this game, had the assignment of guarding Lizzie Robinson, their second leading scorer, almost 20 a game coming in. But Neuendorf, 5'6" on a good day. Lizzie Robinson's got about 3-4 inches on her, and there they just run her into the block. And
tipped away, almost out of bounds, saved by Stevenson to Jensen. 3-point lead, Lakota Tech. Here early in the third quarter in Watertown.
And you really got to use your bounce efficiently and your pass fakes efficiently against this zone.
Reverse layup is good. Jensen with the bucket.
It's been fun to watch her development over the years as Shangru lets one go from deep.
Addison Neuendorf had it tipped out of her hand. I think that was by Lizzie Stevenson, but they're going to say it's off of Hamlin. And that ball goes to Lakota Tech. Lizzie Robinson to throw it in, gets it up top to Isabella Shangru, who has yet to score in this game. She averages 11.5 points, but she's also in foul trouble.
You can see them trying to post Robinson again on Neuendorf.
Oh, lost the handle, but right to Goings. The mid-range J is good. Nice play there by Goings. She has 8.
So far, the loose battle, the 50-50 battle right now, favoring Lakota Tech.
Neuendorf in the paint off the back paddle, but Jensen, too far under the basket, but the outlet tapped away by Stevenson. And we're going to have a foul on Robinson as Neuendorf tried to work her way around her. Their feet got tangled up. Second foul on Lizzie Robinson.
We've seen multiple times when Robinson secures the basketball, she is looking to throw that thing deep and in a hurry in transition. And we've talked about the runouts.
There's a 3. That's good. Addison Neuendorf with 11 now.
In her second 3 of the game, 2 of 6 here in the third.
We're tied at 33, under 6 minutes to go. Shangru, that's Isabella, doesn't have anything. Goings drives, layup, too strong. Tipped away, who's it going to? Going to Lakota Tech.
In the Tatanka, Amelia Shangru had a point-blank look off the rebound. There Goings got a point-blank look on the drive and haven't been able to convert those easy ones.
Shot from the corner is no good, and it's collected by Stevenson. Neuendorf on the move, up ahead Jensen. Almost lost the handle, but she scores. Managed to stop and not travel.
Nice shot fake as that defender flies by.
Shangru, the scoop, no. Pass, oh, it's going to go to Tonka. They got a shot with Lizzie Robinson, no. Rebound, corralled, finally by Jensen. Players flying everywhere. Bad scramble pace.
I think Coach Koisty wants them to settle themselves down here.
Neuendorf, bounce pass, Jensen fouled, gets 2 free throws. This is a big foul against Lakota Tech. And I believe that's going to be on Lizzie Robinson. No, it's Goings, but it is her third.
And you saw that nice flash there. Addison Neuendorf gave it up to the wing, flashed high post, and there's not many in this state that have the type of vision and feel that she does, averaging 6 assists a game. She accounts, not only can she score the basketball, but she accounts for so much offense for them because she just sets her teammates up and puts them in really good situations as Jensen knocks it down.
Under 5 minutes to go. Lakota Tech has a shot, no good, and it's tipped around to Addison Neuendorf. She's on the move, scanning up court. Passes to the left side, and there's a 3. Stephenson, no. Rebound Goings. Tapped away from her, and Hamlin's got it back. Underneath, Jensen scores.
It's another nice find there off the steal, and Hamlin's got a little momentum going. 7-0 run here over these last 2 minutes.
And there's a 3, in and out. Halfway down, but rattled out for Shangru. Can't get any closer than that.
Yeah, and you almost feel like Hamlin has really settled in against this zone, being able to touch it in the high post and then make plays from there.
We've got a foul along the baseline, and we're going to take a timeout with 4:08 left to go, third quarter. 39-33, Hamlin on top. We're back in a minute right here on SDPB.
At Southeast Technical College, you won't just study for a career, you'll live it. Training in classrooms that look, feel, and operate just like the real world. Because the best way to do what you learn is to learn by doing. Get your degree, get to work at Southeast Technical College.
Hey, buddy.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm onto her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. AgTegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. AgTegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
That last foul, by the way, was on Kate Robinson of Lakota Tech. That's her third, along with Nate Kading. I'm Steve Toom. We got a good one going here. First matchup of the day, Hamlin on top 39-33. And it's Hamlin playing the ball in from the baseline, and they'll get no offensive foul. Tim Koisty can't believe it. Let's see who that foul is charged against. I think they're going to get Adeline Jensen.
Yeah, they tried screening that zone in, and yeah, just a little bit too much body contact.
That's the third foul, by the way, on Adeline Jensen. Now Lakota Tech, they have been on a scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes. Shangru is going to get a drive and fouled, blocking foul on Hamlin.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Steve. Lakota Tech, 0 of their last 6 from the floor, and they've had a couple Shangru's 3 that rattled in and out, a couple point-blank looks around the rim that they haven't been able to finish. You just feel like this last 350 is important to keep this basketball game where they want it.
Chased down by Goings. That last foul, by the way, on Stevenson, her first. Both teams, 3-team fouls. Goings with the ball, can't fire the three, gives way to Amelia Shangru. She tries to get to the baseline, puts up a wild shot, no good, but gets her own rebound, tries to shovel it away to the corner to sister Isabella. And we got a jump ball, possession arrow, Hamlin. Lakota Tech, last couple of minutes, kind of been out of sorts on offense. Hamlin has taken advantage.
Yeah, and Shangru only 2 of 13 from the court, and she's so fun to watch. But yeah, you feel a little bit of her frustrations right now. Their leading scorer coming in the game, and nice ball movement there by Hamlin.
And that's a great pass from Jensen to Stephenson, and I think Lizzie Robinson got that foul, and that is her third. So that's Goings, both Robinsons, and Isabella Shangru, all with 3 fouls for Lakota Tech. Pass tipped away, stolen by Amelia Shangru. Big play there by Lakota Tech. Let's see if they can get points off this turnover. Coming up on the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter. To the outside, Goings to the corner, a 3. It's too strong, but there's a great effort there by Lizzie Robinson, but she lost the ball falling out of bounds, picked up by Addison Neuendorf. To the corner, here's Stephenson, short. Rebound, Isabella Shangru, and she was bumped by Paxton Neuendorf.
And Robinson was still down on the other end.
Yeah, she hit the deck hard.
Trying to walk it off here right now as she was hustling for that loose basketball. And
she's holding her left hip, and she may have, when she was diving for the ball, may have landed awkwardly on that left hip, but she is staying in the game. Lizzie Robinson, the 5'9" sophomore.
And with Hamlin's effectiveness offensively, taking care of the basketball, they've kept Lakota Tech out of transition.
Push foul, 2 free throws coming up, and the Hamlin fans can't believe that. That may be on Jensen, and it is. That is her 4th. Let's see if Tim Coisty goes to the bench with 2:33 left here in quarter number 3. Free throws for Kate Robinson. Missed the free throw. All of her points, 7 of them coming in quarter number 2. And here comes the sub to the scorers table. Jensen out. And for the first time, Jade Thuy, a 5'9" freshman, checks in.
Yeah, and they've been pretty. Ava Tashner had a quick appearance in that first half, and they've been both groups pretty much rolling with their starting units for much of this game.
Free throw is good, and that breaks a long scoring drought for Lakota Tech.
You can see him now extending in the full court.
And we've got a full timeout on the court called by Hamlin. 2:31 left. We'll step away. Back with more on SDPB.
Protecting crops. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour provide agronomy services, fertilizer products, and crop analysis systems, including Agronomy 365. This system helps manage your field's performance, supporting small-town communities while hiring and training local youth. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour, serving area producers and their communities.
2:31 left, third quarter. Quarterfinal game, first day Class A Girls State Basketball Tournament here on SDPB3, along with Nate Kading. I'm Steve Toom. And this has been a dandy of a contest. Foul trouble right now, Nate, I think is storyline number 1 for both squads.
Yeah, certainly. When you get to games of this magnitude, they're rolling with the starters a lot, and you got one of your main Key Hogs and Adeline Jensen that picked up the fourth. And I tell you what, Lakota Tech only 0 of 3 from 3 here in this third quarter after hitting 5 of them in that first half. That was a big part of their offense. They haven't been able to get it going here so far in the second.
Lakota Tech did employ a full court press. Now they've backed into their standard defense here coming out of that timeout. Into the paint, quickly outside. Stevenson to Stephenson. In the corner is Paxton Neuendorf. That's short on the 3. Ball tip, and it's going to be almost saved. Neuendorf couldn't quite handle it. That was Paxton.
That was a nice hustle play there by Jade Dewey, who's in for Jensen.
And those lines along the baseline can be a little confusing if you're watching on TV. The white line, that's for volleyball. It's the purple. That is the out of bounds here at the Civic Arena. Coming up on the 2-minute mark, they go deep to Lizzie Robinson. Too strong off the window, but there's Kate Robinson. Got it. She's got 10.
Much needed second chance bucket there by Kate Robinson. And she's been that dirty work player. A couple post touches, couple threes.
Drive along the baseline, nothing there for Paxton Neuendorf. Intercepted. Tatanka have the ball.
And this is where in that first half they were able to really turn their defense into some transition opportunities and some transition points. And Hamlin's done a better job here in this half slowing that down.
3 no good by Kate Robinson, and there's Stevenson with the rebound. She'll find Addison Neuendorf. Heading to Northern State to play basketball, not too far away from here.
And she was limping up the little court a little bit, but then she set the Jets on.
Outlet pass after the rebound. Here's Amelia Shangru, the layup block foul. That'll be on Stephenson, her second. You watch the drive there. And for Shangru, 3 of 4 at the line today, 8 points. Yet to score in the second half. Averages 21 a game. On the year, 59% at the free throw line.
Always helps to be able to see one go down, especially when you're, as you mentioned, struggling a little bit more from the field than she normally does at 2 of 13. But Knox, yeah, she's both down, didn't even hit the rim.
She's got 10, and here comes some pressure, but it's broken by Hamlin. They break the pressure pretty nicely, and here's Addison Neuendorf. Stops, bounce pass along the lane, nothing there for Stephenson. Bounce pass. That's Thuy, but has her pass intercepted by Amelia Shangru. Doesn't have the numbers, stops, starts again, lost the handle, got it back. And now they'll play the half-court offense. Down low, here's off-balance shot by Lizzie Robinson, no good. Neuendorf, Hamlin has the numbers momentarily, but they can't take advantage. Near foul there on the perimeter.
You can see how Amelia Shangru, she always jumps on that high side, tries to force that basketball back in that wing area.
Here's Stephenson, good! From half court, the shot is short, and it's going to be 42-38. Hamlin on top here as we end 3 quarters of play. Class A girls basketball right here on SDPB.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for all of it. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great. And we're here for all of it. See you at the game.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Welcome back to Watertown. We got a dandy heading into the fourth quarter. Top seed Hamlin ahead of Lakota Tech, 42-38, along with Nate Kading, Steve Toom here. Lakota Tech starts the period with the basketball.
They've really tried to establish Lizzie Robinson, and Addison Neuendorf has done a pretty good job of walling up. And
Lizzie's down, and here comes Hamlin. They've got the numbers. This is 5-on-4. Jensen's back in and scores. That gives her 19. And Lizzie Robinson took a hard tumble, fell on that left hip again. And she has not moved as the training staff coming out to take a look at her here. And she was, she fell hard after that off-balance shot. And hopefully she's okay, but remember, she was holding that left hip earlier, and I think she went down again on that left hip.
Yeah, those stingers never feel good, Steve,
No,
when you go down like that. And we talked about they're really trying to establish her inside, especially with that a bit of a mismatch height-wise. But Addison Neuendorf is pretty heady, has done a good job not fouling, trying to wall up. And if you're the offensive player in a lot of those situations, you always want to try to power up off two. And right now, both the last finishes by Lizzie Robinson, she's tried to finagle and just go off 1 foot. And as you mentioned, kind of lose her balance a little bit. And you want to be able to play a little bit more with a stronger base.
Yeah, they're going to continue to examine her. And again, let's hope she's okay. The young lady, a sophomore at 5'9". Key player on this team, averages 19.5 points, 8 rebounds a game.
They just got to pump some biofreeze on it over there, Steve, and send her back in.
Here's Goings, a three, good! Give her 11.
It's a big shot there by Addison Goings. Confident, catch, release, nothing but net.
Neuendorf, a great fake, stops at the free throw line, up and under, no. And the rebound fought for, she got it back and she pulls back to the perimeter. She'll reset. Smart play there. Oh. She has to pass it away to Jensen, back to Neuendorf, back to Jensen, out there with 4 fouls. Ooh, she lost her footing, but it's saved. 3 on the way, good! Stephenson with 9.
Pretty fortunate they didn't get Jensen, as that pivot foot was kind of sliding as she was falling down.
It's Isabella Shangru, Goings, 3, no. Long rebound, Stephenson. And here comes Neuendorf. Pace has favored Hamlin here over the last few minutes. Jensen in the paint. Neuendorf throws it outside. Stripped away, but retrieved by Addison Neuendorf. She'll get it back from Sister Paxson, cross-court pass. Stephenson, nothing there.
And when they've taken care of the basketball, they've gotten pretty good looks, as you can see right there.
There's a rebound. Here's Addison Neuendorf, short on the 3, and Amelia Shangru with the rebound. 6 minutes to go. Long 3, short. Rebound, Hamlin, Stephenson.
And with Lizzie Robinson out, although she is going back to the scorer's table right now, they're going to need Amelia Shangru to step up and make plays here down the stretch.
Hamlin will be in no hurry as they execute their offense. Paxton Neuendorf, bounce pass, dangerous pass. Isabella Shangru with the steal. Here's Sister Amelia on the run. Circles around, didn't have the numbers. Wants to drive on the freshman, can't do so. Goings has had a big game today. She'll set the screen, get it back. Doesn't have the shot.
Yeah, pretty good half-court defensive possession right here.
Robinson turns, rolls off the rim. Jensen with the rebound. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Hamlin by 6.
And you see the fatigue wearing in.
No, but we'll have free throws after we come back from this timeout with 4:52 left to go, fourth quarter. Hamlin 47, Lakota Tech 41. Back in a moment right here on SDPB3.
For your little ones and your biggest joys. Or your forever friends. And your fur kids too. For your better half. Or your all-time bestie. For the reasons you smile, there's coverage. With dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of South Dakota and Delta Vision.
SDPB brings you the South Dakota Boys State Basketball Tournament. You can catch all the action Thursday, March 19th through Saturday, March 21st. For more information, including the multiple ways to watch the games live, go to sdpb.org/basketball. Complete coverage of the South Dakota Boys State Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Dakota Bank and SD Corn. Crunch time here in Watertown, our first game of the day. Hamlin, the top seed on top of Lakota Tech, 47-41, along with Nate Kading. Steve Toom here, fouls racking up for both teams. Lizzie Robinson went down, holding her hip, but she is going to walk back out on the court, still favoring that left hip, number 13 for Lakota Tech. So we've got free throws coming up. That last foul, by the way, was on Kate Robinson, her 4th for Lakota Tech. And it will send Addison Neuendorf to the line. 3 of 4 on the day, 90% on the season. That one rattles around and falls, give her 12 on the day.
And so far in the second half, the Tatanka have really struggled to get much going, especially in the half court offensively. Only 1 of 7 from 3. For the game, only shooting 26%. These are important possessions when you're sitting at a 3-possession ball game right now.
Shangru off the window scores for Amelia. That gives her a dozen. And now we're going to see a little bit of pressure. But it melts away as Addison Neuendorf brings it up.
You can see Lakota Tech just switching back man-to-man. They started in it, but then they've played primarily that 1-2-2 zone.
Tapped away by Shangru, and she caught an elbow on the ear, inadvertent.
Your offensive plan, sometimes when you organize and play against a zone for a long stretch and a team switches back man, it can take you a minute to flow back into your normal stuff.
Hamlin plays it in with now 12 on the shot clock. Addison Neuendorf works against Shangru at 3, good!
And sometimes players just make plays. Addison Neuendorf there with the step back 3 to stretch this out to 9.
The NEC Player of the Year, Addison Neuendorf, with a big bucket. Still a lot of time left. Isabella Shangru yet to score. Goings drives, passes, and here's a 3 on the way. It's going to be short by Money, and the rebound to Jensen. And now Hamlin, you got to figure, unless they got a golden opportunity, they're going to take their time running the offense. Well, they're going to put it up right away, and a foul on Lakota Tech.
And you can see when they get spaced, I mean, the attacking ability there, that started with Addison Neuendorf creating that help situation, and then the pitch, and another downhill attack by Izzy Stephenson.
Isabella Shangru, personal foul number 4. That comes at the 3:32 mark as Stephenson has reached double figures with 10. Goings checks out, Kate Robinson in. The lead is 10, biggest of the game for either squad.
And when Hamlin's been able to value the basketball, take care of the basketball, they've gotten some pretty good stuff offensively here in the second half.
11-point lead. They're going inside. Money, 3, too strong, but there's Robinson all alone, and that's Kate Robinson with a dozen now.
They caught the Hamlin Chargers in rotation mode. Nobody to box Kate Robinson out, and an important putback basket.
Addison Neuendorf from the right side goes to Jensen, gets it back, wants to drive, floats it up, no good. The rebound to Kate Robinson. Still a lot of time left, but work needs to be done. Money had a block by Jensen. And we're gonna have a foul in the backcourt, and that's gonna be on Lizzie Robinson, her 4th. 3rd player now for Lakota Tech with 4 fouls. As you see Money on the drive there trying to challenge the 6-footer, and nothing doing there.
See that length by Addison Jensen, and very smartly made sure that she was just completely walled up, having 4 fouls already.
Neuendorf brings it up, gives it to Paxton Neuendorf. She'll drive down the lane and score. Nice play by the freshman. Give her 7 on the day.
Yeah, you feel like this one is getting away from Lakota Tech a little bit.
Robinson tries that. Lizzie Robinson. Shangru finally gets into the scoring column for the first time today, and a timeout called by Lakota Tech with 2:12 left. They are still down by 9 points here in quarter number 4.
I would expect Coach Big Crow to be able to get her group in a full court press here, and when you're trying to do it against a guard like Addison Neuendorf, that can be challenging because she's so quick and athletic and can make all the passes that you need to.
SDPB's coverage of high school sports and activities is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you. The contribution today helps support the broadcast of events such as the state basketball tournaments. Make a donation today by visiting sdpb.org/donate. Now, if you're Lakota Tech, do you go to a full court press?
Yeah, I think it appears like they're going to extend and stretch out here, and you really got to be able to take some chances and try to speed them up as much as you possibly can. 2:12 left on the clock and 9-point ball game. There's still plenty of time if you can somehow create some turnovers, get some early stops, and then go try to get this thing to at least 6 with a minute left.
And here comes that press. And it will be Stephenson to get it in of who else? Neuendorf. She says, everybody get down court. I got this.
Yeah, she's been in a few of these situations before. Veteran at the state tournament.
Yeah, she was the starter 3 years ago when Hamlin won the state championship on this very floor. And we're going to have a foul. And I think Isabella Shangru just fouled out of the game. And a tough day for her, a player who averages 11 points, scored just 2, and her afternoon is done here in the first round of the state tournament. And here comes Tyrea Money in to replace her with 1:53 left. 4th team foul, by the way, on Lakota Tech. Hamlin has free throws the rest of the way. Hamlin, no team fouls in this quarter. Pass, almost to half court. Stephenson tracks it down. Again, Lakota Tech really can't be too aggressive. Jensen reverse layup, nicely done. She's got 21.
Good composure there by Adeline Jensen as she uses that rim as protection and goes to the other side on the finish.
Shangru for 3, yes. Amelia with 15. But it's still an 8-point lead, less than 90 seconds to go. Addison Neuendorf, probably the ultimate press breaker in Class A basketball, brings it up. Down low, Jensen. Will she spin? Yes, puts up a shot, foul. And that will be on Kate Robinson, and her afternoon is done. She'll foul out with 12 points.
Foul trouble starting to settle in a little bit for Lakota Tech, and you can see Jensen loves to kind of hunt that middle and then double drop back to that strong shoulder, and We've seen that a number of different times, and she's been such an important piece. 21 points, Steve, 11 rebounds, and you're seeing the ability of the center for the Hamlin Chargers.
She'll get 2 free throws here. Yep, 22 points on the year, 58% from the line. And what an effort she's turned in. And remember, she played most of the second half in foul trouble, but has played smart basketball here in the waning moments of this contest. And the lead is still 9. Misses the free throw. Lakota Tech had it, lost it, got it back. Now you got to figure 3-pointers have to be coming for Lakota Tech. Here's a step back, 3, no. Rebound, Jensen again. And they're going to find Addison Neuendorf under a minute to go, and Hamlin seems to be in control of this one. Well, they had to fight hard today against a very scrappy Lakota Tech team.
Yeah, and this Lakota Tech group, you look at the young stars that they have, they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with for a number of years here coming up.
And a timeout, I believe, has been called by Hamlin. They want to reset here as the shot clock and game clock are pretty much identical. And Hamlin up by 9, and they really don't even have to put the ball in the air anymore.
Yeah, I think they actually reset that shot clock on the missed shot and gather. And yeah, as you mentioned, even up, and yeah, pretty impressive second half, especially from this Hamlin group, and really cut down on the amount of turnovers. They already had 9 at half. They're still going to end up with 16, but we're able to cut that down a little bit. 7 of 22 from 3, and in a huge piece, getting to the foul line 20 times and capitalizing on 14 of them.
At the moment, Hamlin has outscored Lakota Tech 31-20 in the second half. And Hamlin will play it in from out of bounds. If they get fouled, it's automatically the double bonus. We got Lennox, Sioux Valley waiting in the wings. We still got to finish up this one as Neuendorf gets it in. See if they're going to go with the designated foul person. And they will catch a foul on Lakota Tech. Now that may be on Amelia Shangru as she fought through a pick. And that is her 3rd. It will mean free throws for Hamlin. And they will send Paxton Neuendorf to the line. 67% on the year, 2 of 2 today. That's a good, gives her 8. 26.5 seconds left. Shot clock is off. And she got them both. She has 9 on the afternoon. 11 is the lead. 3-pointer on the way. It's off the mark. Tipped. Controlled by Lakota Tech. Lizzie Robinson will get that. She's got 12.
You just saw the defensive ability of this Hamlin team, and got a couple quick guards and some length inside, and held them under 30% from the floor.
And this game will end with Hamlin prevailing 61-52. The final score, a hard-fought win for Hamlin. This game a lot closer than the final score indicates. Hamlin is moving on to semifinal Friday night. We'll take a break, come back and review this game after this. You're watching SDPB.
You kept us fed through tough times. And despite rising business costs, you keep doing what you love because you know you're making a difference. No matter the challenges, we're here to help you navigate the highs and lows to grow your business, to improve your land, or to buy new equipment. We all rely on you, and we're just happy to return the favor. Go with Allies. Go with trust. Go with Dakota Bank.
Don't be fooled by that beat-up old cap. Its faded crown represents the tireless work of America's farmers and ranchers. Its sturdy brim, their dedication to providing our nation with a safe, affordable food source. From sunup to sundown, they're turning quarters into the dollars that drive our rural economy. So we'd like to tip our hat to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
Lake Area Technical College provides hands-on learning and practical experience in real-world environments. Prepare for a career right out of school from the moment you step on campus for an education that can really be put to work. Lake Area Tech is the start of something new.
Arthur Edwards has been the royal photographer for 40 years, capturing some of the royal family's most iconic and controversial photos.
And of course, as she went to kiss him, she turned her head, and that was the picture.
An intimate portrait of the man behind the lens and his favorite moments.
It's kiss, 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 kiss. Fabulous.
Arthur, a life with the royal family.
Tonight after basketball on SDPB.
The top seed Hamlin Chargers move on. It wasn't easy. Lakota Tech put up a fight. 61-52 the final score. Hamlin advances to the semifinals along with Nate Kading, Steve Toom here. The second half highlights, I think defense from Hamlin was the main storyline in that second half.
Yeah, and you saw how stingy that they can be with the quick guard play with the Neuendorf sisters, and then Haviland that shot blocker and that presence inside from Adeline Jensen. And then on the offensive end, their players made plays. We talked about Jensen, 22 and 13. Addison Neuendorf, 16 points, but also 6 assists and 8 rebounds, and stepped up and did what they needed to do in that second half.
There you see some of the highlights. Great passing, as you would expect from Addison Neuendorf. The 3-ball from the right side, good for Lakota Tech. But it was some big threes, especially by Izzy Stephenson in the second half. She had a couple of big ones. Shangru got the bucket there. Amelia ended the day with 15 points.
In Lakota Tech from 3, only 2 of 12 in that second half. And that's such a big part of their overall game, being able to make shots from distance, and just couldn't really get it going in that second.
There you see some of the highlights of the second half. Some of the team stats. Field goal percentage, 35 for Hamlin, 30 for Lakota Tech. Three-point land, 32% for Hamlin and 22% for Lakota Tech. They definitely cooled off in the second half. The rebounding battle, it was even at halftime, +9 for Hamlin in the second half. And Hamlin did have a few turnovers, but they really cut down on those turnovers in the second half, and Lakota Tech really couldn't take advantage of those turnovers in that second half.
After being able to create a bunch of quality looks in that first half off their defense, creating those turnovers, as you mentioned, they just weren't able to get that going in the second. And you got to give credit to Hamlin, because they were much more slowed down. They were much more composed moving the basketball, and it really just showed with their defensive efficiency and their offensive efficiency, and that's really what separated that game in the second.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more here from the Class A girls basketball tournament here in Watertown. You're watching SDPB 3.
Our Peterson Farm seed reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm seed reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
Educators across South Dakota are coming together to elevate, educate, and empower. This June, the Department of Education hosts the South Dakota Literacy Conference in Mitchell, a gathering dedicated to advancing the science of reading and sharing new insights into how students learn, exploring research and real-world strategies for South Dakota educators to move literacy forward for all learners. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
You hear about work-life balance like it's a big equation you have to find the answer to. But I think it's much simpler than that. So simple it was right in front of us. Start with the life you want, and everything else will follow.
Our first game in the books. Hamlin pulls away late from Lakota Tech, a team that was up by 2 points at halftime. We're the Tatanka, but tough defense from Hamlin in the second half, and they prevail 61-52. The first of 4 games here today on SDPB3, and we welcome those watching wherever you may be or watching around the world, sdpb.org. And we want to also send out a big shout out to those watching out of state, maybe relatives, and also a big shout out to our military members wherever they may be stationed around the world watching us. And we hope this little slice of home lifts your spirits here. It's March, and that means basketball here in South Dakota. Class A is what we're covering, and our second matchup of the day will feature the Lennox Orioles against the Cossacks of Sioux Valley. These teams have not met on the year, but pretty similar resumes for these particular squads. Let's start off with the Cossacks of Sioux Valley, 21-2. Jamie Granum is their head coach as they play a very, very tough schedule. They have a mix of A and B schools, but generally you look at the B schools they play some top-ranked schools in that Class B ranks.
Yeah, Coach Granum is a veteran doing this and wants to test his group out for moments like this. And these two teams, actually, the last time they squared off was actually a summer tournament last summer where the stakes aren't nearly as high as what they are here this afternoon.
And examine Sioux Valley's record. They did beat Lakota Tech on the year by a score of 66-63. One of their 2 losses to Sioux Falls Christian, who's also in their tournament. They also lost to Hamlin 51-32. Those are the only 2 blemishes on their regular season record. During the Region 2A, they beat Dual handily 72-22, and then beat always a tough Clark Willow Lake squad 55-32. That gets them into the Sodak 16, and who's waiting there but perennial powerhouse St. Thomas More. But they beat them by a score of 49-29. That's one of the things that's kind of strange to have a State A girls basketball tournament in St. Thomas More. Not here.
Yeah, and this Sioux Valley team they're going to play fast. It's a dribble drive offense. And the one thing to really watch here this afternoon is they are so effective from three-point land. Have hit 232 threes on the season coming in as a group.
Talia Vincent, a senior, gets the start, averaging double figures, 10.5 points, 2 rebounds per game. Liberty Trigstad averages 13 points per game. Amari Ward, 7 points per game. Skylar Knudsen, 1.5 points per game. And Kaylee Craddock, we got to mention this young lady, 5'11" and a junior, 15 points, 8.5 rebounds a game. She's committed to the University of South Dakota.
Yeah, do-it-all player, can make shots, can post, can put it on the deck, has good vision, has good length. She creates a lot for this unit, and just her versatility and being able to not only score the basketball but also averages about 9 rebounds a game.
Sioux Valley last year, they were out in Spearfish at the State A tournament. They finished as the consolation champions, and they are looking to get on to Friday night and Saturday night. They want to take that next step, and they got a very, very strong team. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll meet the Lennox Orioles after this break. This is Class A girls basketball. You're watching SDPB3.
Bank West is rooted in South Dakota.
committed to local success. Just like you. We're all connected. In South Dakota. For South Dakota. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm onto her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. Agtegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. Agtegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
Getting you ready for our second game of the day. Sioux Valley taking on Lennox. While we got a moment here, I'd like to remind you that you can follow SDPB Sports on your mobile device all season long. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to browse all our action and award photos by searching SDPB on Flickr. Tell us where you're watching us from and read some of our great stories featuring the players and the coaches and the fans here in the great state of South Dakota. SDPB.org/basketball. Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. The Lennox Orioles come in as the 5 seed in this tournament. They are 19-3 on the year. Adam Quayle is their head coach, and they may have played about as tough a schedule as anybody in the state of South Dakota in Class A girls basketball. You look it down, they played Sioux Falls Christian, they played Huron in Class AA. Also Western Christian, tough squad out of Iowa. And Makpialuda, one of their 3 losses on the year.
And then 2 to the Hamlin Chargers in close games. And this is a group, I'm not sure that we're going to see a team that is longer and more athletic than this Lennox squad. They have a unique unicorn in a 6'5" Olivia Niederbaumer that comes off the bench for them, and just length across the board. Their ability to make enough threes and shoot the basketball will be really key here in this state tournament.
They beat Canton in Region 4A, always a tough region, and then they beat Miller in the SODAC 16 round, 62-33, the final score, and that brings them into today's matchup against the Sioux Valley Cossacks. Here's their starting lineup with Tegan Sturm, a sophomore. She averages 5.5 points per game. Bergen Musser, she's a 5'11" freshman, 9.5 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Then you have Andy Peters at 10.5 points, 2 rebounds a game, the senior. She's a 3-point specialist. Carly Bosma, 5'6" junior, 7 points, 3 rebounds per game. And then Tori Gertis, 7 points, 6 rebounds per game. She is a 5'11" freshman. Yeah, that's a lot of height. And then you go with Niederbaumer off the bench, 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. Libby Kranz and Addie McVeigh also come off the bench. They average over 4 points a game. This is a team you just can't focus on one player.
An extremely balanced team, Steve, like you mentioned. And the other thing that they have that some of these other groups at this state tournament do not have, is they can go 8-9 quality athletes. They got good depth off the bench in Niederbaumer and Libby Kranz and Addie McVeigh and people that Coach Quayle really trusts to play in big moments.
Lennox has been waiting for this opportunity. They qualified over the last time was 2020. Of course, that got wiped out because of the pandemic. The last time they actually stepped on a floor at the state A girls tournament was 2019. They finished in 3rd place. They won the championship back in 1988. They've had some runner-up finishes in 2017 and in 1997. They've had some 3rd place finishes, 1995 and 1994. So this is a program, they are hungry to get back here, and their fans have been waiting for a long time for this opportunity.
In their ability to be able to get stops and get out in transition. And I know in talking with the Sioux Valley staff, they're really concerned with how they're going to attack this length and be able to score against this length.
Yeah, it's going to be a key factor for Sioux Valley. Talia Vincent, she's committed to Dakota State to play basketball. They've got a good program over there. And Kaylee Craddock, we mentioned, committed to the University of South Dakota. And for Lennox, again, they have such great athletes up and down the line there. And some of these young ladies, their mothers played for Lennox back in the day. So they're excited to have their daughters with the opportunity here to play at the state tournament. We are in Watertown. This will be our 2nd game of the day. The winner gets Hamlin tomorrow night in our first semifinal matchup. Let's go to our public address announcer, Ryan Neal, doing the duties today.
Good afternoon. The South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, Dakota Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard, welcome you to this opening session of the State A Girls High School Basketball Tournament. This tournament is being conducted under the guidance and regulation of the South Dakota High School Activities Association for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the success of these programs. We hope you will enjoy the games and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. And now, let's meet the cheerleaders for the Lennox Orioles. Izzy Gertis, Mackenzie Gillen, Mariah Nelson, Willow Strangberger, Aaliyah Timmy, Adeline Timmermans, Macy Wallenstein, and Gracie Wood. Cheer coach is Molly Townsend. And now, let's meet today's starting lineups in alternating fashion. At one guard for the Orioles, 5'10" and a sophomore, number 3, Tegan Strong. At one guard for the Cossacks, 5'6" and a senior, number 10, Talia Vincent. At forward for the Orioles, 5'11" and a freshman, number 12, Bergen Mizer. For the Cossacks at guard, 5'6" and a junior, number 12, Liberty Tristan. At guard for the Orioles, 5'3" and and a senior, number 24, Andy Peter. At guard for the Cossacks, 5'6", and a senior, number 21, Amari Wood. At forward for the Orioles, 5'11", and a junior, number 30, Carly Batsma. At center for the Cossacks, 6 foot and a junior, number 24, Skylar Knudsen. At forward for the Orioles, 5'11", and a freshman, number 33, Tori Gerdes. And a guard for the Cossacks, 5'11", and a junior, number 33, Kaylee Craddock. Assistant coaches for Lennox, Paul McVeigh, Craig Pearson. Assistant coaches for Sioux Valley, Brooke Bethern, Leah Hoppy, and Carly Granham. Head coach of the Orioles, Mr. Adam Quayle. And head coach of the Cossacks, Mr. J.D. Granham. Your officials for this contest, Chris Farrick, Dustin Deitch, and Lewis Young.
All right, we're ready for basketball. Second game of the day, Lennox, Sioux Valley. These teams did not meet during the regular season. Lennox in the black uniforms, the white numbers and letters, the home whites with the dark letters and numbers for the Cossacks.
The battle from the three-point line. This Cossacks team has hit over 100 more threes on the year than the Lennox Orioles. Key aspect of this afternoon's ball game.
Craddock steps into the center circle along with Gerdes, and the tip controlled by the team in black. Man-to-man for the Cossacks coming out of the gate right away. A lot of players here from last year's squad that won 5th place. That was out in Spearfish. Drive shut off by Craddock. Nice bounce pass collected by Lennox. Outside, a 3 on the way, short. Long rebound collected by Lennox. Pass underneath. The shot up, no good by Musser. It's tipped out of bounds.
And you see that length and activity right away by Musser and Gerdes. 2 freshmen that play well beyond their years.
They'll throw it out to number 12. That's Musser. Drive by Sturm. Layup good. And here comes some pressure right away by Lennox.
And you can see Sioux Valley, they play lock-less defense. They try to force people left, and their Tegan Sturm takes advantage right to the cup.
Craddock out on the perimeter. Gives way to Trigstad. Ward with the ball. Layup no good. Cleared away by Gerdes. Gerdes on the move. Stops at the free throw line. Nothing there. Here's a drive by Peters. 3 on the way. Good. That's by Tegan Sturm.
And Sturm came into the game 18 of 74 from 3, 24%, and getting off to a hot start.
And we got a foul on the drive by Sioux Valley. See who that foul is going to be on for Lennox. It's going to be on Musser, her first. First foul of the game for either squad. Right away a sub comes in. We didn't see this in the first game. As coming in, Sioux Valley has Macy Top come in, number 15. She'll give Knudsen a break. We'll see a few more subs in this game for both squads. That's partially blocked, picked out of the air by Sturm.
You're seeing that length and activity on both ends of the court. And here Amari Ward creating a turnover.
Ward, oh, but it's tapped away and Lennox has it back. Outlet on the run is Musser. Too far under the basket, was disrupted, and now Lennox will commit the foul in the backcourt.
And there's not many better athletes end to end than Bergen Musser. Big trackster, has had a lot of success already early on in her career. Sioux Valley hasn't been able to get much going offensively here early.
Peters with the foul, her first, team second. Out near half court there is Trigstad to Ward. Ward on the move, throws to Craddock. Oh, she stepped out of bounds right in front of the Lennox bench. Turnover, Sioux Valley.
And the Cossacks, they run dribble drive motion offense, so they try to get continuous downhill attacks and then spray into threes, and haven't been able to create too many advantages here early on.
Lennox on the move. We'll get the ball. Down low, a nice pass in the finish by Curtis. Bosmo.
And you've seen it early that the Lennox Orioles, they cut very well without the basketball. They cut very well off the drive.
Trigstad just across half court, and it's tapped away, stolen by Lennox, and Craddock with a foul near half court. First foul on Sioux Valley goes on Kaylee Craddock. That pressure by Lennox paying off. They've opened up a 7-0 lead.
They get in different run and jump situations, and that was a nice rotation there by Andy Peters. That's what you got to do. You got 2 on the ball. You want to be that next interceptor.
Drive all the way, no good. Craddock with the rebound off the miss by Sturm. Lennox being very aggressive, taking the ball into the paint early on. Trigstad with the drive. Goes up, but travel. Turnover, Cossacks.
In the Sioux Valley Cossacks, they got the ball where they want to get it, and that's paint touches, but then you see you got 5'11" Bergen Musser there on Liberty Trigstad and creates the turnover. And we talked about the depth that this Orioles team can play with, and Addie McVeigh and Libby Kranz checking in early.
Yep. McVeigh a freshman, Kranz a sophomore, both average around 4.5 points per game. And here's a drive into the paint, shut off. She gets a chance to put it off the window, too strong. We got a scramble, and the ball comes out to the perimeter. Lennox has it. Pass down low, stolen by Craddock. Great anticipation. Up ahead, Trigstad to Ward. Shovels it off to Craddock. She'll put it on the floor. Here comes the double team. Steps through, scores. First points of the game for Sioux Valley.
Kaylee Craddock doing a nice job playing off 2 feet there. Goes to the spin move, and nice scoop finish.
A drive, ball tapped out of bounds. It will stay with Lennox. Timeout on the court, 4:22 left. Lennox off to the hot start here at the Class A Girls Basketball Tournament. This is SDPB 3.
As much as you have accomplished, there are times you'd rather not go it alone. While you determine what direction you go, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with community. Go with neighbors. Go with understanding. Go with support.
And we are back in Watertown. Second game of the day between Lennox and Sioux Valley. Orioles off to the hot start at 7-2. Along with Nate Kading, Steve Toom here. Lennox with the ball. They lost a handle. Loose on the floor. Orioles get it back in the corner with Kranz. She's bottled up. Throws it off the side of the backboard into the hands of Craddock. Outlet. Here comes Vincent. Back to Ward.
You always got to mark Talia Vincent in transition. She's a marksman from deep.
Yep, 35% three-point shooter. Sioux Valley comes up empty. McVeigh on the drive. Both of her parents played college basketball. A foul. It's going to be, I believe, on Ward along the baseline.
Yeah, and Lennox right now, we talked about it. Sioux Valley's going to always kind of force you to that left hand, and with the skill level that these Lennox guards have, they're taking it and getting downhill, and good things have happened.
Kranz on the drive, and we are going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow, Sioux Valley. Mentioned forced from the left hand. Isn't that the Jordan rules that the Pistons used back in the day? They tried to force him to his left all the time.
It was that and beat the crap out of him, Steve. Those were the two goals. Not sure how well it worked, but
it worked for a little while, and then it didn't work. It worked until it didn't, as we get back to action here. Bounce pass, Craddock double teamed in the paint, tries to put it up, can't do so. Outside to Ward, misses the three. Long rebound, tracked down by McVeigh.
The Cossacks haven't been able to get one to go from distance, and we talked about how that's such an important tool in their arsenal, and that's going to be Amari Ward's second foul.
Yeah, quickly 2 fouls on Ward, the senior. So watch her come out, just got in the way. She's going to have to go to the bench. Checking out for Lennox are Bosma and Kranz. Musser back in. And also was Peters. Sturm with the ball.
Much like we saw in the first game, both teams are trying to still settle themselves in offensively.
Nearly lost the handle. Gives way to Peters. She'll take a three, in and out. But there is Gertis to clean it up and score.
It's a little miscommunication on how they were handling that wing ball screen, and that accounted for Gertis. Nobody checking her out, and the easy rebound and finish.
Trigstad gives way there. Macy Top into the game. Craddock on the move, gets into the paint, down low, spins up and in. Boy, when she can elevate like that, it's tough to stop.
Yeah, and you see right now Lennox trying to slide in or slide under a lot of those brush cuts in the dribble drive.
Peters out on the perimeter. Finally, they get into the hands of McVeigh. Looking, Peters coming off that left wing, gets to the baseline, kicks it outside. Good ball movement for Sturm, misses on the three, tipped around, and McVeigh couldn't save it from going out of bounds. It'll belong to Sioux Valley with 1:52 left.
And you're seeing right now Lennox already 4 offensive rebounds here in this first quarter. Sioux Valley 0. We talked about just that length and energy that they bring, and
they get a steal. McVeigh on the move. Can't get around Vincent, but Vincent had to commit the foul, and that is her first. Team's 4th. Been a great start here for Lennox. They have dictated the pace against Sioux Valley.
They've just been able to they've already got up 11 shots, and Sioux Valley only 6 opportunities, so those second chance points have been important.
Shot on the way, rolls off the rim, but there's a rebound to Musser. No, Craddock fighting for the rebound, tipped to the outside, picked up by Macy Top. She's triple teamed, and finally a timeout called by Sioux Valley. Jamie Granum, he had a player triple teamed in the corner. That's no woman's land.
Coach Granum was waiting for about the last possible second as Top was pivoting around and finally decided, hey, rather than giving up a pitch, turnover, bucket under your own, that we're going to talk about it here a little bit. And you see Lennox will go right into those traps immediately off any defensive rebounds for the Cossacks, and you can't run away from the basketball. You got to get your handlers to stick around, shorten up passes, and make sure the basketball can see you.
We mentioned Macy Top there. She's cousins to the Wadsworth family in Hamlin, and Cammie coaches her in the off-season playing for the Heiser basketball. She also plays volleyball. So, of course, Cammie Wadsworth on this court 3 years ago won state championship. Of course, that's a pretty good coach to have with her, not just her ability, her knowledge as well. She always impressed me with her smarts when she plays ball. As the Cossacks get it in, but they're facing some full court pressure. Craddock has to bring the ball up the court.
You can see, yeah, they try to run and jump, and Just a little bit too aggressive there by Andy Peters, but they'll start man-to-man, and then as soon as they can get you turned or you lose vision, they're going to look to jump trap that.
We're going to have Bosma check in as Peters checks out with her second personal foul, third team foul. Minute 15 and counting here, quarter number 1. Lennox off to the 9-4 lead. Sioux Valley looking to cut into it. Trigstad with the ball. Averages 13 a game. Bounce pass Craddock, surrounded by black jerseys. Had a block. Tipped a few times into the hands of Bosma. Long pass up ahead of the crowd. Nice hesitation. And the bucket. First points for Musser.
And you saw Musser block on one end, and there's not many that can get up and down the floor as fast as she can.
40 seconds and counting. Sioux Valley down by 7. Top with the drive, lost the handle. Outside, Trigstad with the ball. We'll move it around the perimeter. Miley Keating, number 20, just checked in. There's a 3 by Craddock, no good. Ball loose in the lane. Finally, Lennox has it. 20 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock is off, and Lennox looks like they're going to play for the final opportunity as McVeigh signals out the play. Picked up by Miley Keating, the 5'7" sophomore.
It's like a little high ball screen for Addie McVeigh.
7 seconds left. The pass, shot up, no good by Musser. Trigstad can't get anything off. Falls way short of the mark. A great start by Lennox. They hold Sioux Valley to just 4 points in the first quarter. A team that averages 61 a game, but Lennox defense is reigning supreme here. Back in a moment with more of the Class A girls basketball tournament in a moment right here on SDPB3.
It's not just about making a living. It's about upholding a way of life. We are connected to this land, committed to the future. Bank West.
Reading opens every door to learning, opportunity, and understanding. The South Dakota Department of Education is strengthening literacy outcomes for students across our state, helping educators connect classroom instruction to the science of how children learn to read and write. Through professional support and shared resources, schools are building strong foundation in literacy for every learner. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
Get a look at the Lennox cheering section here. Day 1, State Girls A basketball tournament in Watertown. Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. Lennox up 11-4, and they start the second period with the basketball. They're wearing the black uniforms, Sioux Valley in white, in case you're just joining us. Pass into the lane, intercepted.
Good job covering up that back screen, a little Euro ball screen into a back screen, and good activity.
But Sioux Valley has only got 4 points, all of them scored by that player, Craddock.
You can see they're really locking in on their shooters, not leaving Talia Vincent, not leaving Liberty Trigstad, and you just feel like Kaylee Craddock's gonna have to be super aggressive. See her a little strong off the mark.
Peters brings it up, throws it to the corner. A drive there by Bosma. Peters shovels it underneath to Sturm. Nothing there as she's double teamed.
Peters got away with shuffling her feet there, and
drive by Gertis, foul on Sioux Valley. Watch the cut. Skylar Knutson the foul, her first. Remember, team fouls reset after each period. Free throw no good by Gertis, 57% on the year. That rule changed a couple of years ago for boys and girls basketball. 5 fouls per quarter, and you're in the double bonus.
Yeah, first trip to the line for either team right here as Gertis goes 0 for 2.
And, oh, we got a jump ball. I think we do, and the possession arrow favors Sioux Valley. Sioux Valley last year 5th place. Their previous tournament appearance 2014. So they waited a while to get back to the state tournament when they made it out there in Spearfish last year. Craddock going to have to bring the ball up, hounded by Gertis. Here comes the double team. Gives it away to Trigstad.
Yeah, and those are situations that you got to be able to pass out of that and attack and be able to use it against them. And right now, Sioux Valley hasn't been able to do so.
They just really haven't been able to run their offense. A few times they've gotten to Craddock in the paint. 8 on the shot clock. Blocked. Out of bounds. Who's it off of? Lennox.
Still got 5 on the shot clock there.
See what they can run, as that was Macy Top who had it blocked. Into the paint, Craddock spins. Can she get it up? No, she won't, but Trigstad will right as the clock expires. It bounces about 5 times, won't fall. Lennox with the rebound.
Yeah, she was trying to will that one in. That hit about every part of the rim, and except for falling down.
Peters misses on the 3, tipped by Craddock out to the perimeter, picked up by Lennox. Down low, Musser had a shot, now outside. Bosma misses everything on the 3. Trigstad pulls it away, now double teamed in the backcourt, has to give it away to Ward.
See, and these are situations that you got to find a way, to keep that advantage rather than turning it over.
Oh, what a pass, Sturm, reverse layup, no, rebound Craddock. A little wild and out of control here as now Lennox has it, but I think the player fell out of bounds.
I think they actually, Coach Quayle, was calling a timeout, I think, and
they do, so Lennox will keep the ball as they get a full timeout called here with 5:31 left to go in the second. What a mad scramble game we have got here. While I got a moment, I'd like to remind you that In Play with Craig Maddock brings you in-depth conversations about everything happening in South Dakota sports. Each episode dives into the players, the programs, and the legends who've shaped the sports landscape here in the Mount Rushmore State. You can find the podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you enjoy it, leave us a 5-star review so more fans can discover it. It's In Play with Craig Maddock. And we have some legends that are going to be playing tonight, Nate. They're both named Ashland. Spelled differently, but they have cemented their legacies.
Yeah, a couple of the best players, well, certainly in the state, region, and honestly across the country. One, Ashton Copel from Wagner, heading on to Nebraska, and then we got Ashton Carlo Blond, who's going to stick around and head to Vermilion for the University of South Dakota, but she had a multitude of other options as well. It'll be certainly a treat tonight.
Yep. Makpia Luda plays in the first game against West Central, and then Wagner plays Sioux Falls Christian in the nightcap. And here comes some pressure as Sturm gets it across the timeline to McVeigh. Peters the long 3, bingo!
Yeah, and there Lennox handles it, and that's about the one person that you definitely don't want to leave open. It hit 65 threes coming into the state tournament.
Top puts it up and in. Nice play along the baseline. Macy Top. And that is her first bucket of the game. Desperately needed. The Cossacks going to crank up the pressure here, it appears. Kranz, the drive, too strong off the window. It falls into the hands of Ward. Outlet. On the run is Vincent. She's been held in check so far. Top, down low, looks to score. No. Craddock, 3 on the way. Too strong. Rebound Sturm.
And the Cossacks 0 of 6 right now from 3, and we talked about it before the game on how that's such a big part of their offense. They just haven't been able to get it going from distance.
Lennox floats it down low. Pass, there's Nita Bomber in the game at 6'5", and we're gonna have a whistle. And we've got a timeout on the court with 4:16 left to go, second quarter. It's Lennox on top of Sioux Valley, 14-6. Back in a moment here on SDPB.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Lennox ahead of Sioux Valley here in the second quarter, our second game of the day. You get a look at some of the Lennox fans there. 14-6, Orioles on top here, along with Nate Kading. I'm Steve Toom, and Sioux Valley gets the ball out of the timeout. I believe Nita Bomber, who just checked in the game, I think she got called for traveling along the baseline. So Sioux Valley has the opportunity here. They're down by 8.
Try to run a little misdirection set play there, screen the screener for Trigstad, but
Vincent had to go through her hands, got it back. Trigstad working down low, outside, Ward open for 3, and it's no good, and Nita Bomber collects the rebound at 6'5".
And those are the ones, if you're a Cossacks fan, that they're gonna need to see a few of those go down if they wanna keep this basketball game within striking distance.
McVeigh got bottled up. It's loose along the baseline, and there's a fight for it. And a jump ball will give the ball to Lennox. Shooting stats, 3 of 13, 3 of 14 actually for Sioux Valley, 6 of 21 for Lennox at the moment.
Yeah, the big difference when you're looking at the stats is just the effectiveness of being able to get second opportunities for Lennox.
Nita Bomber put it on the floor, fighting for it, lost it, hit the deck. Sioux Valley, and then Trigstad got called for traveling. She can't believe it. The ball goes back to Lennox.
Yeah, and it's tough to, when you're in traffic like that, tough to dribble it out. And Lennox, right as soon as you gather the basketball here, they try to go to Nita Bomber again.
Look out. She hit the deck. She and Knutson getting tangled up.
I think they got that on the, they got that going. They had that going up there. So Nita Bomber were head to the free throw line. Only 41% coming into the tournament.
Trigstad got that foul, her first. Nita Bomber scores 5.2 points per game, 4 rebounds as well, 6'5", and a junior. She would start for a lot of teams across the state.
Suffice it to say, Steve, I don't know if there's many, and there's a nice show on the soft touch. 1 of 2, about her average. Minnie's 6'5", and I know in talking with Coach Quill, they play a different way, and those are the ones that you can't afford, those unforced turnovers. But when Nita Bomber's in the game, they have a different plan of attack offensively. They have a different plan of attack defensively. They call it the Nita Bomber rules because she's just such a unique athlete out there.
Definitely a presence in the paint, no doubt about it. Sioux Valley turned the ball over. Lennox with the opportunity, trying to post up Nita Bomber. McVeigh on the perimeter, wheeling, dealing, nothing there. Throws it back outside to Peters. Now here's Musser with the ball. 3 on the way. It's going to be well short of the mark, but Nita Bomber is there. Too far under the basket. Got it back. Oh, I think she threw it to the ground. Gotten a little too physical, and Nita Bomber with the foul, her first.
And Skylar Knutson trying to battle inside there and ends up drawing the foul on Nita Bomber.
Sturm in, McVeigh out for Lennox. Knutson's going to check out, top in, a little quicker lineup in here now as the pressure is coming by Lennox. They're up by 9, and they're applying the pressure to Sioux Valley. Craddock.
They don't make anything easy.
Bounce pass, Craddock gives way to Top. Throws it to Ward. She has to retreat to the corner. Vincent's been really quiet in this game. Averages 10 points a game, over 10 points per game. Craddock. Trigstad on the move, throws it up, no, and there's Bosma with the rebound. Quickly out to Peters.
Even when Sioux Valley can get the basketball where they want to, as Bosma with the nice mid-range catch and shoot. Even when they're able to get the ball in the paint where they want, they haven't been able to capitalize and finish.
Trigstad got tripped up from behind by Peters. If so, I think that's her third. And she may have to head to the bench. Nope, they're going to get a different player. They're going to get Musser. That's her second. Under 2 minutes to go. Sioux Valley's offense has not been good today. Only 6 points for a team that scores 61.
And you can see the Lennox holding teams to 32 points on the year.
Shot from the corner, no good by Trigstad. Good box out there by Bosma. She'll race all the way up court. See what they'll set up here. Sturm looks to the bench. Gets the play. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 17 and counting. Peters, open, 3, in and out. Rebound, Gertis, put it up and was fouled.
You can see Gertis there, had Maisie Top trying to check her out and just kind of tossed her aside and will wind her way to the free throw line. They were trying to free Andy Peters there off a stagger screen, and she had a good quality look on it. Oftentimes you'll see that when you're trying to get a shooter open. She was the one setting a back screen, and then there's a counter secondary action.
First foul on Top, free throw number 1 by Gertis, no good. She is a freshman, 5'11". Missed them both, but the rebound to Lennox, tapped loose by Ward. Outlet Vincent. Now finds Trigstad, and it'll be Vincent running the show now. Finds Craddock out on the perimeter. Under a minute to go.
Can see how physical they're trying to be on the basketball, and it's really bothering the Cossacks.
Top on the move into the paint, trying to get loose, off the window, scores. Nice play there. She has 4 points.
Yeah, she's had a few important finishes, so they haven't went completely dry.
Pass tipped, but into the hands of Gertis, but she traveled. Turnover, Lennox. Shot clock will be off. Let's see if the Cossacks play for the last shot. They're down by 9.
And Lennox has stayed true. They try to face guard you when you're getting it in, and then they'll look for run and jump opportunities.
Trigstad gets it across the timeline. Pass down low. Top steps back. Didn't have anything. Craddock on the move. Bumped by Gertis. Spins. Scoops off the rim to the outside. Peters collects it. They got time. 8 seconds, but they got to move. Sturm sees the clock now. Steps up. Fires. Oh, off the rim. No good. And we're done with one half of basketball. Lennox, their defense impressive, holding Sioux Valley to just 8 points. They lead 17-8 at the break. Back with some halftime entertainment in a moment. You're watching SDPB.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
At Southeast Technical College, you won't just study for a career, you'll live it. Training in classrooms that look, feel, and operate just like the real world. Because the best way to do what you learn is to learn by doing. Get your degree, get to work at Southeast Technical College.
You hear about work-life balance like it's a big equation you have to find the answer to. But I think it's much simpler than that. So simple it was right in front of us. Start with the life you want, and everything else will follow.
All right, we're ready for some halftime entertainment from the Hanson dance team.
And now for your halftime entertainment, please welcome to the floor the Hanson cheer team.
Thank you to the Hanson dance team for their entertainment here at halftime. 17-8, Lennox on top of Sioux Valley. Back with stats and highlights after this timeout right here on SDPB.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Peterson Farm Seed Reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm Seed Reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
For your little ones and your biggest joys. Or your forever friends. And your fur kids, too. For your better half. Or your all-time bestie. For the reasons you smile, there's coverage. With dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of South Dakota and Delta Vision.
Don't be fooled by that beat-up old cap. Its faded crown represents the tireless work of America's farmers and ranchers. Its sturdy brim, their dedication to providing our nation with a safe, affordable food source. From sunup to sundown, they're turning quarters into the dollars that drive our rural economy. So we'd like to tip our hat to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
And we are back here at halftime, 17-8, an impressive defensive performance by Lennox here in the first half, holding a high-powered Sioux Valley team to just 8 points, along with Nate Kading. I'm Steve Toom. And I tell you what, the shooting stats may not be impressive, but the defensive effort from Lennox, Nate, certainly has been very impressive.
Yeah, and they mix up different styles. You can see their effectiveness with their full court press, but they've also done a great job of identifying shooters for Sioux Valley, forcing them into an 0 of 8 from the three-point line, been disciplined when they have gotten the ball in the paint, staying on their feet, making finishes tough. As you mentioned, it certainly wasn't an offensive clinic either way, but a lot of that is due to the defenses that we're seeing here this afternoon.
Take a look at that three-pointer on the way by Peters. That was good, her only bucket of the first half. She did get in a little bit of foul trouble. Macy Top with 4, Kaylee Craddock with 4. That's it for the scoring for Sioux Valley in the first half. As you see the mid-range jumper there by Carly Bosma. Underneath, Top gets one of her 2 buckets. But Sioux Valley hasn't been to the free throw line at all, Nate. That's an interesting stat considering they like to push it into the paint and force the other team to foul them.
Yeah, and I think that's attributed a lot to what I said earlier, that Lennox is doing a great job of staying on their feet. Sioux Valley gets in a ton of situations of dribble posts up, Barclays, we call those, where it's a live bounce as they make their way into the paint. And Lennox has chested that up. They've stayed down, they've slid, they've kept their verticality and have done a nice job of keeping them there and not allowing any too clean of three-point looks.
24-10, the rebounding in favor of Lennox. That's a huge, huge stat.
In their ability to just create second opportunities, they've gotten 26 shot attempts up versus Sioux Valley only 8 shot attempts. Both of them pretty even on the turnovers, but you mentioned it, that rebounding battle. And we talked about it at the onset. How would this Sioux Valley team be able to handle the physicality in the length of Niederbaumer and Bergen Musser and Tori Gertis? And the answer in that first half is not well.
No. You take a look at the scoring column for Lennox. All 5 of their starters have scored. They got 1 point off the bench from Niederbaumer. It's 5 with Sturm leading the way, but this is the balanced attack we were talking about at Lennox. And you know, Nate, one of the things I always have as kind of a rule of thumb is that balanced teams in the postseason are very scary to deal with.
No question. They can have different people that can step up offensively, and you see this group, not only their starting unit, but even their bench players will come off the bench and look to be aggressive. And there's been some huge, Gertis with 4 and Sturm, as you said, with 5, and just chipping in different ways. And Andy Peters has had some quality looks from 3, only 1 of 5, but she's one that you got to always check and not allow any clean looks to.
All right, Sioux Valley, let's see what they do as far as halftime adjustments go as they get the ball to start. Vincent, very quiet in that first half. Goes to Ward in the corner. Craddock, triple team, gives it away and tapped away and stolen by Sturm. Sturm on the move, doesn't have the numbers. She'll circle around and give way to Peters.
There's always at least one player off the floor that Lennox team is helping off of, and there they come off Skylar Knutson to create that double team and turnover.
Sturm will run the show.
I don't think they reset the shot clock, as that was
well, they'll fire Peters. That was knocked out of bounds off of a Lennox player. I think they got it right now. Yep, they'll reset it now. Well, the more technology they have, the more things that can go wrong.
Yeah, no, that certainly wasn't 35 seconds of playing offense. And
Coach Quayle's got a good reason to complain here, but it's going to be Sioux Valley ball. And it'll be Trigstad bringing it up against the pressure, tipped away from her. Oh, lost the handle, tapped away by Curtis, and there's the basket by Musser. It's one thing to have length, but when you got the quick feet to match it up, as that's tapped away, and it's going to go off the knee of Trigstad out of bounds to Lennox. It's one thing I mentioned when you got those long arms, but if you got the quick feet to go with it, that makes you doubly tough.
And there they beat the initial pressure with Miley Keating, but then Bergen Musser came from behind with the back tap.
Curtis with the ball. Hands way, Musser with it, looking to operate. Oh, I think she got called for traveling here, got tied up. Took the extra step, turnover Lennox. 19-8, Lennox on top. Sioux Valley yet to hit a three-pointer. Both teams combined are 2 of 20 from beyond the arc.
And anytime you're playing against a team that's going to press, you want to be able to use that pressure and use that space against them and be able to beat it and then attack on the other end. And in the recovery of this Lennox team, they'll not only get in a trapping situation, but then they're sprinting out of it and still forcing you to score against a set defense.
Peters just picked up her 3rd foul. She has to go to the bench. McVeigh in to replace her for Lennox. That could be a key foul against Lennox, but again, they have a lot of depth. Trigstad puts it up, no, spins off the rim. Sturm gets the rebound.
And those are the situations that we were talking about at halftime. They get the ball where they want to, but just...
McVeigh had it blocked by Craddock. She comes out of the pack with a head of steam, lost the handle, but gives it away to Vincent. She'll fire a 3. It's off the mark and out of bounds. It will go to Lennox. That might be the first shot attempt, I think, for Vincent.
I think, yeah, second one, I think. But you could just see her a little bit out of rhythm there on the catch. Didn't even go right into that shot. Took a dribble and a little shy.
Pass into the front court. Thrown to the outside. Sturm thought about the 3, but shuffled her feet and turns it over on the travel.
They tried to run a little misdirection, hit Bergen Musser and a fake handoff and tried to get her downhill to that strong left hand, and pretty good job of defending it by Sioux Valley.
They'll apply the pressure again. Ward gets the inbounds pass to the corner. Now here's Trigstad, lines up a 3. It's short of the mark, but there's Craddock flying in to get the rebound, pull it away from a couple of players. Vincent to the corner. Ward doesn't have a shot. McVeigh taps it out of bounds.
And Sioux Valley still stuck on 0 of 9 from 3, and I talked about it. Had hit 233s coming into the night's game. I'm not a math major, Steve, but I think that's around about 10 a game that they generally hit. And
yeah, they got the offer so far today. Pass to the outside, and Vincent down low here. Throw it up, reverse layup, up and good for Miley Keating. Her first points for the sophomore.
And Keating in top, accounting for 6 out of their 10 points. And
yeah, 4 of the starters have not scored for Sioux Valley here. We're under 5 minutes to go. Layup, no. Tipped, Trigstad has it. Tipped away, pile up at half court. Who has got it? Keating, but they're gonna call over and back. Timeout on the court, 4:44 left to go. Third quarter, 19-10, Lennox on top. Back in a moment right here on SDPB.
Creating a legacy means different things to everyone. For us, it's about family, watching my daughter follow in my footsteps, passing the farm under her, and working side by side every day. It's about building something that lasts. Agtegra Cooperative has been by our side through it all, supporting us from one generation to the next. Agtegra Cooperative, legacy rich, future focused for generations to come.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
And we're back here in Watertown. Get a look at some of the cheering section there for Lennox. We're in the safety colors, construction hats. There's Lennox, kind of a hard hat, blue collar team. They've got the ball.
Tried to run a little cross screen inside and go high-low, but covered up pretty nicely by the Cossacks.
Pass to the corner, almost losing it was Gertis. Pounds past Sturm, block, foul.
And you see those off-ball cuts, and they almost had Gertis on that initial drive, but the passer didn't see it, and there Tegan Sturm with another off-ball cut. They move very well without the basketball.
Free throw, boy, that's been a bugaboo for Lennox today. The Sturm misses it. They've only made one so far today.
Yeah, as we talked about.
7 attempts.
Yeah, not an offensive clinic on either side. Lennox 26%, only 2 of 12 from 3, and 2 of 8 from the line.
Ward misses the shot. The rebound tip to McVeigh.
Yeah, and those are the ones if Sioux Valley's going to chip away. It's one of the better looks that they've had all game that Amari Ward just wasn't able to finish.
Gertis drives, scoops it up, no good, and the rebound comes down to Vincent. Craddock with the ball, back to Vincent. Trigstad a 3, no, long rebound, and it went off the foot of, that was Bosma trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, I think they actually got her for a travel, I believe, as she was falling down. And Sioux Valley, the second half, has had a few better looks from 3 with Talia Vincent, and there Trigstad had one, and they just can't get one to drop right now. Still 0 of 11 for the game.
Top to Traeger. Players fall down. Here's the open shooter. Vincent barely draws iron. And we're going to have a foul on the rebound, and that's going to be on Trigstad. And that will be her second.
And another, you said it, had a couple defenders that collided and ran into each other and left Talia Vincent wide open on the wing and a little shy from the look.
Knudsen comes in to replace Top for Sioux Valley. Nita Bomber coming in. Sturm gets a break. So let's see here with Nita Bomber in the game how the offense changes for Lennox. See if they try to go to the big 6'5" post player. Under 3.5 minutes left to go in a low-scoring game. And Ward almost got a steal, taps it away, picks it up. 2-on-1, throws it to Vincent. Almost traveled. Trigstad a three, short of the mark, but Ward tracks it down. Trigstad pulls it out of the air on the high pass. To the corner, Craddock lines up a three, no. Rebound, McVeigh had it. She got hit, hits the deck, foul, Sioux Valley. And that's on Trigstad, and that's her third.
Yeah, and they showed a little bit of life there. Amari Ward creating that turnover. They have literally not had a transition bucket the entire night, I don't believe. And there they had some numbers and a few good looks, just struggling to get one to fall. And sometimes that just becomes contagious when you're normally such a good shooting team. And
Cutter, basket. That was Musser. Nice pass to set her up.
We talked about how well they move off the ball, and there you can see it from Bergen Musser.
There's a pileup, and we're going to have a jump ball. Coach Quayle trying to call timeout. Possession arrow Sioux Valley with 2:27 left. Great hustle there, though. Or check that, Lennox gets the ball. My mistake. Lennox with the basketball.
Yeah, pretty and important end to this third quarter here with how hard offense has been to come by for the Cossacks. You can't dig yourself too big of a hole.
McVeigh with the ball. Outside, there's Musser with it, drives and scores. Musser again, she's got 8.
They get into those same type of actions as Sioux Valley with those brush cuts and didn't cover it up with the emergency switch.
Ward 3 misses. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Sioux Valley. They're going to get a sub to the bench through the Cossacks. Macy Top coming in. And here comes Kranz in for Lennox. Curtis will get a break. Also Keating in for Sioux Valley. Ward will get a chance to rest. Minute 55 left, and it's Lennox by 14. Cossacks have only scored 10 points. Keating off the window, scores with a nice move. And a timeout, a full timeout called by Sioux Valley. We'll step away for a moment. Lennox up 24-12. This is SDPB 3.
Since 1882, we've raised 5 generations of hardworking Americans on this land. Our great-great-grandfather believed in something simple: respect the land and it will provide. Anthem Oats, grown by us, shared with you.
Your Great Plains Case IH dealers know that hard work starts early, in the field and on the field or the court. Dedication, teamwork, pride, the values driving farmers also power South Dakota athletes. Growing crops or growing champions, it takes the same drive to succeed. Your local Great Plains Case IH dealers know the future is built by showing up day after day, ready to work, ready to win. Great Plains Case IH dealers, supporting schools, athletes, and the communities we grow.
Along with Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. We got a minute 48 left to go, third quarter. Lennox on top of Sioux Valley, 24-12. If you like defense, this is your game.
Yeah, that might be the understatement of the day right there, Steve. Yeah, 24-12 here.
Sioux Valley, 8 of their points have come from the bench. And only Kaylee Craddock is the only starter that has scored so far for Sioux Valley. Now, Cossacks apply the pressure.
Yeah, and the Cossacks have been able to come up with a few offensive rebounds, but they're still losing that battle 11-4.
McVeigh on the drive. Three-pointer on the way. It's going to be short, rolls off the rim, and we're going to have a foul as Craddock got the rebound. And I think they're going to get Niederbaumer. They will, her second.
Yeah, pretty fortuitous bounce there, as there was a couple Lennox players, but luckily Craddock was right there and battled for that one. We'll see if Sioux Valley can get anything going offensively.
Craddock hasn't scored since the first quarter. She averages over 15 a game. Knudsen with the Euro step, and she gets her first point of the game.
I think that was Miley Keating,
That's
actually.
right, Keating.
Yeah, with
Keating.
another bucket.
Nice little spin move there. Keating with 6 is the top scorer. Backdoor cut, foul, Sioux Valley. With a minute to go here in quarter number 3. Let's see who collects that foul. Ooh, Trigstad with the foul, and that's her 4th. She's got to check out in favor of Macy Top. Niederbaumer going to the bench. Like Bergen Musser replaces her in the lineup. Or check that Gertis back in.
Yeah, they've gotten into a few different flex screen looks, and here they try to get Gertis coming off.
She's underneath and scores.
Good execution. They ran that in the first half as well.
Keating been the main source of offense in the second half. In fact, she's been their only offense. Ward, a little shovel shot, no good. 5 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock as we wind down this third quarter. Lennox defensively has just put the clamps on. Kranz down the lane, had it partially blocked. Keating with the ball. Shot clock is off.
Yeah, it was good aggressive take there by Libby Kranz. Just couldn't convert on the finish.
Double dribble. Craddock trying to do a little too much. And now with 13 seconds left, Lennox has an opportunity to move it up the court and maybe get a good look at the basket.
And this Lennox team just has Sioux Valley out of character, out of sorts. One of their best shooter, Talia Vincent, been off the mark. And there you see an uncharacteristic turnover by Kaylee Craddock.
To the corner, a 3, no. 26 to 14 is how we will end the third quarter of play. Back with the final stanza in just a moment. You're watching SDPB.
Educators across South Dakota are coming together to elevate, educate, and empower. This June, the Department of Education hosts the South Dakota Literacy Conference in Mitchell, a gathering dedicated to advancing the science of reading and sharing new insights into how students learn, exploring research and real-world strategies for South Dakota educators to move literacy forward for all learners. South Dakota Department of Education, learning, leadership, service.
Protecting crops. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station at Armour provide agronomy services, fertilizer products, and crop analysis systems, including Agronomy 365. This system helps manage your field's performance, supporting small-town communities while hiring and training local youth. Agronomy Plus in Mitchell, Rock Creek in Howard, and Valley Station in Armour, serving area producers and their communities.
We're ready for the fourth quarter of play. Sioux Valley gets the ball to start. They're down by 12. Longer Nate Kading, I'm Steve Toom. Craddock, pass, Trigstad, layup, rolls off the rim, but a push foul on Lennox.
Nice execution coming out of that quarter break, and another one that they just curled her right around, and that Coach Granham's got to be over there thinking that those are ones that they're normally finishing in the regular season. Just haven't had it going here this afternoon. It's their first trip to the free throw line, and Trigstad a little shy on the shot.
Missed that on the year, 88%. She averages 13.3 points per game, and finally she's into the scoring column. Only the second starter to score for Sioux Valley. The first starter to score since the first quarter. It's been all Top and Keating for offense from quarters 2 and 3. Sturm passes, three-pointer on the way, in and out, no good. But the rebound to Lennox. They get it to Sturm underneath, got it. She's got 8.
Another offensive rebound from Lennox, and then a nice find to Tegan Sturm.
Trigstad puts it up, no good, and the rebound to Musser.
Yeah, and this is the point I'm sure Coach Quayle is telling them to be under control, not afraid to take any clock off.
And we're going to have a quick timeout called by Lennox to save the possession. It is a 30-second timeout called by Coach Quayle. And they want to keep that possession, even though the possession arrow does favor Lennox at the moment.
And when you look at it, Steve, I mean, Sioux Valley's 3 leading scorers. You got Kaylee Craddock, only 2 of 8 from the court, 4 points. Liberty Trigstad, 0 of 10, had her first point. And then Talia Vincent, 0 of 3 from 3.
SDPB sports coverage continues next week with live coverage of the boys basketball tournaments beginning on Thursday, March 19th. Class AA, that'll air on SDPB 1, Class B on SDPB 2, Class A on SDPB 3. You can also watch every game online at sdpb.org/basketball. 2 of the tournaments in Rapid City next week, A and AA. B will be in Aberdeen. That's because they got hockey going on at the Sanford Premier Center, college hockey. As we get the ball into play with Lennox, Sturm pulls it back out. They got 15 on the shot clock. Looking for Gertis, bounce pass, gets it to her. She'll spin, get around Ward, off the window and scores.
They've ran that fake handoff in another area on the right wing, and there they finally get it.
Peters gets the steal and is fouled by Ward, who gets her 3rd foul. And another turnover for Sioux Valley. First foul, again, team fouls reset every quarter. And it will be Sturm to trigger. Finds Peters.
Yeah, and both teams right now combined 2 of 30 from 3. Everything that even Lennox has got. And there, as I say that, Sturm was going to prove me wrong. But yeah, and most of the good stuff that they've gotten has been off right at the rim, offensive rebounds, drives to the paint, cuts to the paint.
Blocking foul on Lennox on the drive by Ward. Second team foul on Lennox, and that will be on Bosma, but that's only her first. Ward can yet to score today, averages 7.3 points and makes that one. Ward, 2-time state champion on the cheer team at Sioux Valley. 5-time state track athlete. Misses that one. Rebound, Lennox. Sturm brings it up against Ward. See if Lennox maybe takes a little time off the clock as they operate the offense.
Yeah, and you can see Sioux Valley trying to keep the ball in front of them as much as they can.
12 on the shot clock as Sturm backs it out, looking for the screen from Gertis. Gets it. Can't shake Ward. 5 on the shot clock to the corner. Desperation shot put up. It does hit the rim. The rebound to Trigstad. So they burn 35 seconds off the clock. Don't come up with points.
At some point, you're going to need to be able to pick up the pressure. But here, normally you'd say still plenty of time. But with how hard offense has been to be had by the Cossacks, that time is becoming minimal.
Craddock finally scores a bucket, her first point since the first quarter. 5-12 and counting. The Cossacks are down by a dozen. They've got to dig in defensively. Meanwhile, Lennox can't totally shut the factory down. They've got to be efficient on offense, burn some clock, get a bucket. Pass, down low, nice fake. Oh, double dribble. Timeout on the court, 4:55 left, fourth quarter. Lennox 30, Sioux Valley 18. Back in a minute, right here on SDPB 3.
I can't imagine being anything other than a nurse. I'm also much more than a nurse. And working at Avera lets me find balance. between the career that called me and a life that fulfills me.
.30-18 our score. Lennox on top of Sioux Valley here. Day one, Class A girls basketball. Cossacks with the ball. Lennox applying the full court pressure. Vincent gets the inbounds pass, guarded by Peters out there with 4 fouls. Intercepted. Bosma down low. Musser with the finish. She's got 10.
And Sioux Valley's 18th turnover in this game, and this full court pressure, and
ball tipped around, and another steal, and Musser with another finish. Ward tries to take it all the way, and she will score her first field goal of the game. But Sioux Valley down by 14.
Yeah, and they need to start taking a few chances here.
Lennox keeping the ball on the perimeter. They'll be in no hurry as we come up on the 4-minute mark. Ward tried to get the steal. 10 on the shot clock. Peters circles around. Throws it to the corner. Bosma threw it up, trying to draw the foul. Cossacks on the run. They got a 2-on-1. Vincent lines up a 3. It's no good. Craddock, no on the stick back. Another chance. Top is fouled. Chance for Sioux Valley to score.
Another quality look in transition, and they haven't had too many quality looks in transition, but I should say another quality look from 3. That every single shot, or every single 3 right now, it just seems like they're short, right? Like there just hasn't even been a ton where it's been in and out or off the back. And oftentimes you want to miss off the back if you're going to miss, and just haven't had the legs underneath them. But I think that's also when you got to deal with a full court press like this, right? I think that's wearing on this group, their physicality and the length and activity from this Lennox team.
Free throws by Top are good. That foul, by the way, was on Bergen Musser, her 3rd, and a timeout has been called by Sioux Valley. Sioux Valley has 2 timeouts left. Lennox, 3 timeouts left here at the 3:32 mark here in quarter number 4. It's a 30-second timeout. I'd like to remind you our evening session starts 5 o'clock. Makpia Luda, West Central. And then we followed up with Sioux Falls Christian against Wagner. 5 Central, 4 Mountain, right here on SDPB 3. Cossacks break the huddle. Looks like they're going to apply some pressure. They need to force some turnovers. They're still down by a dozen. And it will be Gertis.
Yeah, the possession game is always important when you get to this point, and see them being a little bit more aggressive with that extended trap.
And a quick timeout called by Lennox. They were 1 second away from losing the ball. This is a full timeout here.
Yeah, and you gotta give. We've talked a lot about it. You just got to give this Lennox team a ton of credit defensively, and they're unique to play against. They're going to press you, but then they're also going to be pretty stingy and disciplined in the half court.
You know, we'd like to welcome everyone to join us for Tales from the Hardwood. We'll meet a young gal who's juggling college and coaching, a prolific standout from South Central South Dakota, a girls basketball player who is following two passions within the game, and a young man who has gained strength through a key battle in his life. Tales from the Hardwood is available to watch today on our YouTube channel or online, sdpb.org/basketball. Thanks to Nate Weck and the entire crew for putting in a lot of hard work to get that program on the air. As Lennox breaks the huddle here with 3:23 left.
They've just done a lot of the little things to put themselves in this situation, and struggled from the line, struggled from three as well, Lennox that is, but have just crushed it on the glass. Won the turnover battle. They've won kind of that floor game that you talk about, even when the shooting splits aren't great from either team.
Yeah, you mentioned those 50-50 balls. I think Lennox has come out on top more often than not. So they got 15 on the shot clock to work with here. Peters drives, dishes down low. Gertis finishes. She's got 10. And the lead back to 14.
And you see how effective both Gertis and Musser are around the rim. Not necessarily huge perimeter threats, but they're so good finding themselves around the basket.
Top misses, gets her own rebound, puts it up and in the hoop and the harm. Macy Top has been a lifesaver today for Sioux Valley.
She's going to remember this game, Steve, no question. Macy Top with that bucket leading them in scoring, and a chance to get up to 9. Only averaged 3.3 points a game coming in.
Bosma with the foul, her second, but misses the free throw. And the rebound to Lennox. Sioux Valley applying a little pressure. Let's see if they go for the trap. Nice passing by Lennox, gets it into the front court, and Sturm will handle near the center circle.
When you have that length that Lennox has too, they can oftentimes just pass over the top a lot of that pressure, and it's a little bit different when Amari Ward or Talia Vincent has the ball for Sioux Valley.
Long three, no. Rebound flying in to get it was Bosma. Fresh shot clock, Sturm backs it out.
It's a pretty good representation of what this game has been.
Ward gets the steal, but I think she had to foul to do it. They'll stay on this end. Ward with the foul. That is going to be her 4th personal foul.
Lennox making a hustle play to create themselves another offensive possession. They've gotten more shots up. They've shot it at better percentages. They've valued the basketball at a higher clip.
And now they got another fresh shot clock to work with. We're under 2 minutes to go. The lead is 12 for Lennox. Ooh, near travel there. Ward fighting for the ball. Players tumbling here and there. Look out. And we're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow, Lennox. A little frustration there for Ward, Sioux Valley. And she's going to check out of the game in favor of Miley Keating, who's got 6 points.
And you like to still see that intensity. I mean, it's still only a 12-point game here with 1:43. Probably feels out of reach with how offense has went today, but they're still competing all the way through.
Keating with the foul, her first, but that's the 3rd team foul. They got another foul to give before they get to free throws, and free throws have been a little bit of a bugaboo for Lennox. As a team on the season, just 57%. And they're going to make Keating the designated foul person, and that is her 2nd. So we get Kranz and McVeigh off the bench for Lennox. Who will they replace? Looks like it's going to be Gertis and Musser. So a smaller, quicker lineup in here for Lennox.
Yeah, and I think Coach Quill might be expecting them to continue to foul and probably getting some better free throw shooters in the game as well. As we mentioned earlier, Lennox only 2 of 8 from the foul line.
And we're going to have a foul on Vincent. And that will be her second, but that is the 5th team foul. And sometimes, yeah, when you don't commit fouls, if you're trailing late in the game, it can hurt you, because you got to commit those fouls and get them to the free throw line. Double bonus time.
And Bosma's not one that you want to send there. Was 19 to 23 coming into the tournament. She hasn't been there here so far before this trip.
Ward back in, Keating out. Bosma on the year, 63%. And Sturm's going to check out in favor of Mia Hanisch, a 5'8" senior, gets into the contest. Bosma, a junior, got that one. Give her 3 points. Sioux Valley's got to operate quickly here. Down by 13, under 90 seconds to go. Top with the drive, and she will score again in a quick timeout called by Sioux Valley. They have 1 timeout left.
Yeah, and I think Coach Quayle was giving a couple of those athletes a little quick piece, but then he just checked right back in. So sometimes when I wouldn't say he was necessarily clearing the bench, but maybe wanted to get a few of them their feet wet. But when you look at an 11-point game with still 1:19, I always harken back to when Reggie Miller scored. Yes. What was it, like 9 points in like 7 seconds or something? Yeah. Steve, it was something crazy.
That was at Madison Square Garden.
Square, yeah. Who likes the Knicks anyhow, right?
And the thing about that, and I've seen a documentary on that, he did it right in front of Spike Lee, who was sitting in the front row, and I don't think Spike Lee's ever forgiven Reggie for that. That great rivalry in the 90s between the Pacers and the Knicks, because quite often that determined who went to the NBA Finals back in the day. As the teams break the huddle. Yeah, you think 1:19, you're up by 11 points, but anybody who's been around the game has seen leads evaporate in a short period of time, and that's when you got the 3-point shot, no leads ever safe.
I imagine that the Cossacks will look to try to create some type of trapping opportunity and then probably put themselves into the foul game if they can't create a turnover.
Gertis triggers in, gets it back. They feed it up ahead to Peters. It bounced off her head and went out of bounds. Well, there's the break Sioux Valley needed, but they got to operate quickly here. Down by 11. 4-possession game. Top had it stolen away by Musser. Boy, how big has Bergen Musser been today? This has been in such a balanced attack, but if there's an MVP, it's maybe her. I mean, that's tough to call.
No question. I mean, I've just been so impressed with her athleticism and how hard she plays. She's created multiple turnovers on back taps out of their press, and good activity on the offensive end.
The lefty gets the free throw and misses it on the year, 59%. And think about this, Bergen Musser's a freshman. Does not play like a freshman, folks.
Far from it. And this Lennox team, obviously Andy Peters is a senior, leading scorer, big part of what they do, but all the other ones will be back next year. And I know enough about Coach Quill and that program. They got some young ones coming up in the stable that they're gonna get to know them at the state tournament, I think, Steve.
Yeah, this could be the beginning of quite a lengthy run for Lennox if they can put all the pieces together in future years. Trigstad trying to fire the three. They're under a minute to go. She'll get the layup. That is her first field goal of the day. The lead is 10. Not over yet, as we're going to have a foul in the backcourt on Tegan Sturm. And we'll walk down to the other end of the court for some free throws.
And Lennox 4 of 12 right now from the foul line.
Yeah, that has not helped their cause today. Talia Vincent, that is her 3rd personal foul. That sends Sturm to the line, and she will make the first of 2. Tegan Sturm missed all of last year due to an injury. Her mom played on the '97 championship team. In and out, no good.
Yeah, a lot of 1 or 2 trips right now for the Lenox Orioles, but this clock just continues to keep winding down.
Little give and go, but Peters steps into the passing lane and makes the interception. She'll get it back. And they might have to foul her, and they will, and that's the player you don't want to foul. She's a 91% free throw shooter on the season. Of course, Lenox wants the ball in her hands. Foul on Craddock. That is her 3rd.
Yeah, didn't get to the line a ton throughout the year. I think she only got there 11 times, but capitalized on 10 of them, and we'll see. Yeah, with the type of, that's a pretty smooth stroke right there.
Can't teach you much better than that.
No, and Andy, and I think you might have mentioned it, she'll be continuing her career on at Dakota Wesleyan next year.
Second free throw, no good. And Craddock puts up a shot, just can't crawl over the rim. Gertis gets the rebound. And we'll have a foul on Sioux Valley. Yeah, Andy Peters, yep, going to Dakota Wesleyan next year. And of course, they're in the NAIA National Tournament. They won the Great Plains Athletic Conference postseason tournament, beating #1 Dordt at Dordt. That is no easy accomplishment, folks.
My agents that were at the game, Steve, told me that their crowd was just, it might have felt like a home crowd. I was a little surprised to hear that with how Dordt supports their teams.
And Sioux Valley's going to clear the bench and get some reserves in there for the final 16 seconds as Lenox has this game in hand. And there's some reserves coming in as well for Lenox. Gertis at the line, got them both, give her 12 points. She will check out of the game, and at least for the last 16.8 seconds, we'll have some reserves in there. Avery Schmuck bringing the ball up the court. Gives way to top. Ball tapped away into the hands of Audrey Larson. Now Schmuck with the ball again. 3 seconds left. Will they get a shot off? They will not. Final score, 42-28. It's Lenox advancing to semifinal Friday night. We'll take a break. We'll come back and have an interview with the winning coach and other highlights and stuff. Stay with us on SDPB3.
Powering the possibilities of tomorrow starts today. For our homes, our farms, our businesses. That's why our Touchstone Energy Cooperative continually plans for the future by utilizing and sourcing safe, reliable power for the next generation. So we can power possibilities long into the future. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, powering possibilities.
Bioethanol supplies more than just energy. It creates jobs in rural communities. It drives demand for local corn. It provides opportunities for family farms to thrive. To ensure agriculture plays a leading role in the efforts to decarbonize and transition energy, bioethanol remains at the forefront of a pursuit for a cleaner, brighter future for all Americans. Learn how at sdethanol.com.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, opportunity is turned into progress. Through research, education, and a community that inspires, SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're taking action with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for all of it. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great. And we're here for all of it. See you at the game.
Lenox prevails 42-28 over Sioux Valley. Nate Kading is standing by with Coach Quayle.
Coach Quill, pretty impressive defensive effort. Talk about your guys' keys to the game coming in here this afternoon on that side of the court.
Yeah, well, Coach Granum and the Cossacks, they do such a good job offensively. So the last week we really dug in, tried to key on some of their players and try to figure out their sets. And you know, I thought our girls just played really, really hard, really made the game a little more chaotic than what they're used to.
No question. Offensively, really balanced unit that you have. Talk about how hard that is for other teams to be able to defend when you got different athletes stepping up every game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called it an offensive clinic by any means, but yeah, I think we're difficult to guard just because any girl at any time, like we have 8 girls that have less than scoring throughout the season, so I think that makes it really difficult to scout and plan for.
No question. Hey, congrats on the win, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to the Lennox Orioles as they prevail here today. 42-28 to the final score, and in typical fashion for Lennox, it was a balanced attack. All 5 of their starters scored, and they forced a lot of turnovers on defense. That was the key in the game today, as Sioux Valley just really couldn't get their offense going. In fact, their bench outscored their starters today 16-12 as we get a look at some of the highlights there, and Bergen Musser was really the X factor. It was Miley Keating coming off the bench, 6 points all in the third quarter, but look at the little give and go there. Nice block by Craddock. It's not that Sioux Valley played a bad game defensively. Sioux Valley, Nate, I think Sioux Valley played a good game defensively today.
Yeah, they held Lennox to 34% from the floor and only 2 of 17 from 3. It really came down to their inefficiency from the three-point land. If you would have told Coach Granum that they would have been 0 of 16 and they were still from 3 and still had a margin like this, he probably wouldn't have believed you. But when you do that with the 3 and how important it is to their success, you're not going to find success at this level in a game of this magnitude against such a good opponent like Lennox.
Bergen Musser, 13 points, leading the way, 12 for Tori Gertis, the top 2 scorers, then 9 for Tegan Sturm, 4 for Andy Peters, and 3 for Carly Bosma. But all those players play great defensive games as well. 10 points for Macy Top, leading the way off the bench for the Sioux Valley Cossacks, a team that averages 61. They were held to 28 today. We'll take a break, come back with more here from the Class A girls basketball tournament here in Watertown. You're watching SDPB 3.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Bioethanol supplies more than just energy. It creates jobs in rural communities. It drives demand for local corn. It provides opportunities for family farms to thrive. To ensure agriculture plays a leading role in the efforts to decarbonize and transition energy, bioethanol remains at the forefront of a pursuit for a cleaner, brighter future for all Americans. Learn how at sdethanol.com.
At Muth Electric, we don't just power projects, we empower people. We invest in training, mentorship, and career development opportunities at every level. Because strong careers build strong communities. Your future is bright with Muth Electric. Muth Electric now hiring.
Lake Area Technical College provides hands-on learning and practical experience in real-world environments. Prepare for a career right out of school from the moment you step on campus for an education that can really be put to work. Lake Area Tech is the start of something new.
Our first session of the tournament is done. The afternoon session on a Thursday concludes with Lennox over Sioux Valley, 42-28, the final score. As Lennox advances to semifinal Friday, they will meet Hamlin, a team that they are familiar with, as the Chargers had to fight off a challenge from Lakota Tech today, 61-52. We've had some good action here in the afternoon session.
No question, Steve. Hamlin did just enough in that first game and had some big performances from Jensen and Neuendorf, and can't wait till tomorrow night, the third
meeting of the year.
Third meeting of the year between Hamlin and Lennox, and the first two have came down to the final possessions.
Should be a dandy tomorrow night. Now, we got more action coming up. It'll be a 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time. Machpelah-Luda, unbeaten on the year. They take on West Central. And then in the nightcap, Wagner takes on the defending champions in the Sioux Falls Christian Chargers. That should be a dandy as well. Again, the action starts at 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time. So we're going to take a break, allow you to catch your breath, grab a snack or two, and join us for more basketball coming up here in a little bit. For Nate Kading and our entire crew, temporarily signing off from Watertown, I'm Steve Toom for SDPB. We'll see you tonight.